children, right? And bomb innocent people, and then trying to convince people here in America that you're doing this for the benefit of the American people.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. No,
It's
that's right.
just like there is no room. There is no room for um, you know, any sort of intellectual conversations because people are just so people are people are people are fucking crazy. Like,
Yep.
and I just like I posted a comment earlier on Facebook saying that one of the reasons Trump was always anti-wars. He criticized
He was never
Bush
anti-war, bro. That's the
for the
thing.
Iraq.
He was never
Well,
anti-war. It
that's
was
what he
just one of
was
the many
claiming.
scams. Yeah, it
That's
was
what.
just one of the many scams that he was
Hmm.
portraying himself in the 2016, 2020, and 2024 elections. And it was just proven over and over again recently. And now his supporters finally see it. But yeah, some have split, but some haven't.
So I told these guys, well, there is only one explanation for Donald Trump to, you know, campaign, like to have campaign back in the day, on being anti-wars. And now, he used to criticize Barack Obama and say, oh, Obama will start a war with Iran to get reelected. So the only explanation is he either was bought, right?
By
Or
Isra Zift.
they got him with the Epstein. Exactly.
Yep.
Or
For
they
those
got
watching, by the way,
him,
guys, we are
or
officially
they.
live on X and YouTube. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow both of us on X and TikTok. Lately, I haven't been on TikTok as much because I keep getting banned and it's just not the same as it used to be. But we are back on Let Me Get This Straight, and we will be on more frequently, and we'll be live streaming on every platform, pretty much every single one: Twitch, YouTube, X, Facebook, except TikTok, because TikTok just doesn't want us on there anymore. And as much as I'd like to stay on there, and I plan to, there's only so much I can do on there. That's in my control, and whatever we can do on here or on there, we can do here. And that's why I'm glad to be back live and with Zein, who used to come around a lot. And man, so much has happened since I used to do this show like this often. But yeah, go ahead, bro, and we'll talk more about that later.
Yeah, so I said there is only one explanation. Either, they paid Donald Trump to change his,
The
stance on wars,
Adelsons, bro.
or
Remember the Adelsons? Remember that?
yeah,
Yeah. Go ahead and talk. Go ahead and talk a little bit about that, and elaborate a little more about how he might have been paid. I mean, not just from Isra Zift, the Israel lobby,
or
but even
okay,
many
not
outside
just
interests. Like you said,
and then
Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham has been
ex
all over the place cheerleading for this to the point where even his own party wants him to shut up. You've seen that, right? Nancy
he's
Mace put
sick.
out was on
He's
CNN,
sick.
and she was like, "Okay, Trump needs to take Lindsey Graham out of the Situation Room," and it's like, "Oh, that's your senator, Nancy Mace." But yeah, go ahead.
So, exactly. So the other point, which is obvious to a lot of people, right?
Hmm.
Perhaps, you know, and I don't want to say, okay, he's obviously in the Epstein files, right?
Hmm.
Um, so maybe the Epstein files,
Epstein
and
files too,
this is
for sure.
this is
Absolutely, you're
this is
right.
this is this is what I said. This is in my comment. I said he's probably in the Epstein files because as soon as the Epstein files get mentioned, we get there is a some sort of eh, like things happening, right? Like the attacks on Iran
Yeah.
to deflect from the Epstein files
Hmm.
and trying to get people's attention of the Epstein files. And then
Distraction.
these people,
Exactly.
exactly, distraction. So these people, instead of debating and be like, no, he's not in the Epstein files or whatever, and show their justifications, these people are calling me, oh, shut up, clown. Yeah.
People are telling
And then
you that?
start talking about,
Who's
oh,
who's saying that to you?
yeah, shut up.
Who?
Like people on social media, like some random
Like
people, like all the
people who
magas, bro.
comment, or people that you talk to, like in a TikTok live or a
No, no,
space?
no, the comments, the comments.
Oh, the
So this
comments.
is
Yeah, yeah.
just
Bro, don't worry, bro.
to
They're all trolls, man.
exactly.
Don't
So
don't
this is
ever take comments online seriously. Never. And everybody watching too.
I know.
Never ever
I
take any of them seriously. But go ahead. Go ahead.
I so this is just to like sort of show you what kind of people we're dealing with now. So these are people like, the people who claim that, they're pro freedom of speech, and these are Trump supporters, MAGAs, right? But when you have different opinions, instead of intellectually debate, people have different views. These people are out here calling people names. People have different views, calling the and this is like the same method Donald Trump has been using, right?
Yeah.
Calling people names, and he's the president of the United States of America.
Yeah. Bro,
And
he told a
you see him all the
reporter, "Shut
time,
up, piggy."
like,
He said, "Shut up, piggy." Or "Quiet, piggy." So, I mean, of course people feel empowered to say these things because yeah, like you said, the president of the United States talks like that. So they thought, "Oh, it's just normal now."
yeah,
You know? Except
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's just really anyway, go on, bro.
So, it's just a sad reality that we cannot even have, proper conversation where, we're just using facts and debating and,
Bro, let's put
trying
it this
to
way.
convince
Let's put it
people or educate people.
yeah, exactly. But let's put it this
Hmm.
way, bro. We've talked about this before. By the way, we're not on TikTok now. You noticed that, right? I love that. I'm not used to like
Yeah.
for a while I wasn't doing any of this stuff because I, had a couple day jobs, but once I lost that and got back into this, I was like, you know what, I'm just try out TikTok for a bit. But then they started playing games, so now I'm back on here and it feels great, but I wish it was for a different reason instead of feeling like I'm being censored unlike never before. And I can't help but notice, and I know that other people are not or are also going through a similar thing. But I can't help but notice that some people, like even people I don't like, they still have their old original accounts, whereas I lost mine that I had for 3 years that I built up and that I put so much content on and frankly had a lot of accomplished a lot with. They just took it just like that, no warning, no nothing. And even now, bro, like it's gone to the point where when I'm live, they don't even give you they don't even send you notifications anymore or restrictions anymore. They just straight up ban you, or they just cut off your live when you least expect it, just at random. And it's like, wait, I didn't do anything. And it's like, wait, I gotta wait another 3 days. And it's like, oh yeah, at least it's not 7 days. But it's like I'm getting banned every 3 days now. So it's like, what's going on here? And it has a lot to do with and I've spoken about this repeatedly. And I hope they're watching. Larry and David Ellison, who think that they could own all of media, who, by the way, are in right now in final negotiations to buy CNN and HBO and other parts of Warner Brothers Discovery. So they own TikTok, they own Paramount, they are for good friends of Trump and Israel. And they bought TikTok on behalf of Israel to control the algorithm. And they pretty much put all pro Palestinian creators in a box. And just have done everything they can. And I still see some people, like people that I used to be friends with, people I consider family, they're still on there. It's like nothing happened to their accounts. Like, what the hell? Really? Really? And yeah. Oh my God. Don't even get me started on those people. It's like nobody even cares much about. I mean, there's a few people that I talk to and a few that would come on and, we discuss the issues all the time, bro. All the time. I'm always covering the Epstein files, always covering Palestine, always covering everything, and we get into really like informed discussions about it, and we never discuss anything other than the news, like not no personal drama or anything like that. And then when I see other lives, it's like some are discussing about Iran, and I feel like the urge to go in, but then I'm like, no, I don't want to. It doesn't feel the same anymore because for one, I ever since I got pretty hurt from a couple people, I've been kind of hesitant to meet new people on there, but at the same time, it just doesn't seem productive. It doesn't seem as fun as it used to feel. It used to feel exciting, especially when I'd come in there and I'd show off the Trump impression. All that. And I still do that. People still love that, but still, it's just those old spaces I used to go in and how seeing them go on and seeing them how like I don't feel like seeing how oh yeah I used to be in this space and now I don't and it kind of hurts, you know. And you're not the one who did anything wrong or it's like you're always trying to do the right, trying to bring people together and trying to entertain and you're trying to and yet there's still people on there that stab you in the back or in the heart and you just can't understand why, especially especially if you think if you thought that they were on your side, like if you thought that oh you support me and my people and you used to show it before, but then what happened, what abruptly changed? And I never get any explanation or any apology. I just get like crickets and I just be like, yeah, I just gotta fucking focus on this stuff and not try to get too attached to anyone, but it's hard sometimes, especially if I try to work with someone on here and if I try to work with someone and we have the same goals and objectives and then suddenly I find out that like I catch them in a lie or something like that, whatever. I just wonder, or I wouldn't really blame them as much as I'd blame myself. Like, what did I do to deserve that? Like, what did I do? Did I hurt this person or did I do what? Blah blah blah. But that's not the case, and it would kind of make me kind of question myself a little bit. But then I'm like, oh, I've done this, I've done that, I've accomplished this, I'm doing this, despite what's happened, and I'm still refusing to like vanish because of certain people who, whether it's people on the app or people that own the app, clearly don't want me there. I don't care. And even if it doesn't feel the same anymore, like if I'm scrolling through there and I see some of these people, I feel activated. I'm like, shit, that's not how I used to always feel. Fuck them for making me feel like this. I feel like I feel the urge to like call them out and embarrass them publicly on there. But then something in me tells me to stop. Always. Because then I think about long term consequences and then I'm just like, shit. Okay, I won't say nothing, but how am I supposed to know? Like, I want this person to know how I felt. I want this person to know the kind of damage they caused. But from experience, unfortunately, people who do that kind of stuff, they're mostly shameless, narcissistic, and instead of owning their part, they try to rewrite history to make themselves to look like the victim or make themselves out to be the good guy and you're the bad guy, even though you know you're not. I'm tired of meeting people like that on the app and in real life, really. And it really makes me just feel like shit. Like, who can I trust? Because I never been to, like, I can't remember the last time I debated a Zionist. I can't remember the last time I was in a panel full of them, maybe like 2 years. And made sure to never ever, speak with privately or never get close to any of them because I knew what kind of people they were. And I figured, okay, let me just stick with my community over here. But little did I know that some of the people in my community didn't really like that. It's like, oddly enough, people in my own community hurt me more than people in that community of Zionists. None of them affected, have had any effect on me like some people in my community have, who I've grown to love. It turns out they never really loved me back. Sometimes I get reminders of that when I'm on there and I'm scrolling and I see some of those people, and I just think to myself, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you still on here? Why are you still grifting? Why are you still pretending? And I feel the urge to say something, and I don't know. I don't, because maybe because I'm a coward or because I'm too strong to fall into any kind of unnecessary drama. Anyway, that's just some of what I've been thinking about and what I've noticed.
Yeah, a lot of people, when you see any movement or, especially like, what's been happening in Gaza, and, a
Yeah.
lot of people definitely have just been taking advantage to the situation, to get attention on them, right? Because what
Yeah.
you feel, and just like in politics in general, a lot of politicians, how they get into politics, pretending that they want to help people, or, they want to just be there for their communities. It's
You could
like
tell,
they're
man, I
doing
have
it
completely
to.
and 1000% lost my patience with all fake people everywhere, in every aspect. Like, I'm just like, listen, if you're not real, get out of my face. And whether it's in politics or in media or anywhere, in family, even. Like this shit, bro, like everything we talk about, you could apply to any part of life, really. You know? Because we're human, like we all live human experience. Like there's so much like wisdom and so many stories I could share that I'm sure many people could relate to. And that frankly I've been wanting to share for a while, but never felt safe or comfortable enough to do it in a place where it wasn't going to be used against me later. Like in the past, trusting people who ended up using my history, what I shared in confidentiality against me. That is one of the worst things you could do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So the problem that we have is a lot of
Yeah.
people are not really doing things to for the benefit of people, the community, the constituents, or whatever they're pretending that they're working for or they're advocating for. Because once people start losing attention, or there is somebody else in the conversation where they have to share the attention with another person, then you kind of start seeing a different side of these people,
Yeah.
because they're not happy that there are other people who are sharing the attention with them. So a lot of these people, whether it's in politics or the Palestinian cause or whatever, a lot of people are looking for their own benefits. Like they're doing this for the wrong reason. It's not genuine. So you only have few people who are really, really, and like the last 3 years really, really revealed the world we live in, that most people are just fake. Most people are only looking for their own benefits, and you know, and they don't really care about people. Like, how can you how can you be a politician, whether Republican or Democrat, and say that it's okay for the United States of America to spend billions of dollars on a daily basis, billions every day, in a war that has absolutely no benefit no benefit at all for the American people.
Bro, I gotta say,
Like
we gotta talk about this because I know you're
people are
interested. I know you're
dying because they don't.
real quick, man. You keep because here's the thing. I love how we're talking about this because I know we like to talk about MAGA and how even some people in that camp are not happy about this, and even some of the like Trump's most famous supporters at one point who said he was anti-war and all that are now feel so betrayed, and including people like Megyn Kelly, who is going back and forth with this neocon named Mark Levin. I don't know if you've heard about it, but yeah, he's
Yeah,
going after her for, calling out Israel Zift for bringing the U.S. into war with Iran. And she called him micro penis Mark Levin, who, you didn't see that? You didn't see that?
no, no.
It's all
I
over
don't
X,
really.
bro.
I've never really watched that. I don't really watch that guy. I've only seen a little bit of like.
I
I've
just see
only
the
seen
tweets.
probably.
It's not me watching. It's the tweets, bro.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah, yeah,
tweets. The
yeah.
tweets are
Once,
vicious tweet to the
yeah,
two of them.
yeah.
They're tweeting back and forth, and it's because this guy is such a sick, despicable troll that he likes to go after anyone, anyone, and I mean
The
anyone
world, the
who
world.
speaks up against
You know,
precious Zift. And he wants the whole world to die for it to
to,
protect Zift. That's basically how it's said, just like Lindsey Graham.
yeah. It's just like Lindsey Graham, Ben Shapiro, and these clowns. You know, Lindsey Graham, Ben Shapiro, Laura Loomer, um,
Laura
Laura
Loomer.
Loomer, uh,
We should send these people to
Patrick
fight
Bet
over
David.
there. Patrick
You
Shinbet
know,
David? Is that who you talked about?
yeah,
Bro,
yeah,
did you see his
and
his sidekick Adam? Adam Sosnick, or as I call him, Adam Smalldick on Piers Morgan get humiliated by Dave Smith.
yeah, I've seen that guy, but I wouldn't even. Why would like that guy? That guy has like he has no talent, like absolutely no talent. Like I don't even know why they got him on that show.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know either, bro. I don't know either.
Mm. He's not.
Beats me.
He doesn't sound smart.
No, bro, he's actually a lunatic.
um,
So let's see. Oh, or even right now, bro. I'm looking at one right now. Look at this. So Cenk Uygur tweets, Mark Levin just said he never urged the president to go to war with Iran. Are you kidding me? What in the world is this slime ball of all slime balls trying to get out of responsibility for starting this war? No. There's no weaseling out of this one. The chutzpah. And Mark Levin quote tweeted that and said, "Never lobbied the president, you lunatic. Of course, I've supported destroying the Islamist Nazi regime, a complete regime change, and deporting your fat ass." What? Dude. First of all, Mark, you're not thin. You're huge. You're bigger than Jank. So, yeah, that doesn't work for you. Um, And let's see, the U.S. ambassador to Israel Zift, Mike Fuckabee, as I call him. He says he put out this quote today. You ready for this, bro? Are you ready for this? You ready?
hmm
He
yeah.
said, "Insulting Israel Zift is like insulting my wife." What?
Wow.
What? 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 What the fuck are you people talking about? Oh my god. Oh yeah, by the way, so there's a lots of news to talk about today, guys. So we got, for example, we had the No Kings protest today, bro. Were you familiar? Did you hear about that? The No Kings protest?
Yeah, yeah. It happened worldwide today, not just in the US, but apparently they had it in the UK and other places. Um,
Yep, everywhere. Like I see Right now, I'm looking at X and I see Senator Chris Murphy, who went to a No Kings rally in California and looks like he ran into Jimmy Kimmel on the street. Okay.
In California.
Yeah, in California. Let's see. Yes, and I'd like to formally endorse Republican Congressman Thomas Massey for reelection in Kentucky because of his brave stance for the Palestinians and for the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, man. Anyway, right now.
Yeah, that's how that's how like politics in America should be like about people, like about that person, their stances, their politics, what they stand for, the policies that they're trying to implement, whether they're Republican or Democrat. You should vote for people based on what they're bringing to the table, not political party. So Thomas
Yep. Yep. Yep.
is a Republican. He's a Republican, and but I'd vote for him. I don't care if he's a Republican or Democrat because I like that he's being real, just like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Ah,
Um,
good example. Yep. You're frozen, bro. Okay, guys. Looks like we just lost. We just damn. Okay, we just lost. All right, Zane's back. You good, bro?
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you just froze and then you disappeared. Anyway, bro.
Yeah.
Did you hear, by the way? Okay,
Yeah,
so there's so
so
much. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was just saying that we shouldn't be voting for people because of, their political, party. It should be based on their policies, what they stand for, and, whether we'll. But there is a problem now in America that we don't have freedom of speech, really,
Yeah.
because people are afraid to speak their minds, right? If you
Well, bro, if you
if you
think about it,
are
did we
if
ever
you're in the
really have
Republican
freedom
Party,
of speech? Did we ever really have
well,
that?
we thought
Yeah.
where
But
we
the last
thought
three
we had
years,
it,
more than anything, that it never really
we don't have
existed.
it. We don't have
Yeah.
it.
It never existed. Not
Let me
not only
ask you.
does it
Let
have
me
it
ask
now,
you
we
this.
never existed.
Let me ask. Let me ask you this question. Can you be a Republican? Can you be a Republican and criticize Donald Trump and get reelected?
Right now, no.
It's gonna be hard. Like you're gonna get a backlash. You're gonna get a backlash. Trump will attack you. Then nobody's gonna endorse you. You will lose a lot of voters,
Bro,
and
wait a
they will
minute.
attack you. Why?
Wait a
They
second.
will.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, 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 wait. Sorry to cut you off, but
Hmm.
bro, hey, that's interesting because I recall a similar situation like that happened in a little town called New York last year, where a certain individual didn't
Hmm.
get any party support and somehow got elected. And I think that, yeah, it could be possible, but I think in a Republican primary against someone like Donald Trump, yeah, it could be tough.
uh, it can happen. It can happen in the Democratic Party, but definitely not the Republican Party. Listen, I really like I've never supported Marjorie Taylor Greene, but I really like most of what she's saying now. And she's a true, like, she's a true America First politician, not a fake one like Donald Trump, Lindsey Graham, and these people. So, but there was no way she was gonna win in Georgia, like facing somebody who's endorsed by Donald Trump. Because whether we like it or not, the Republican Party now is the party of Trump. Over the past 10 years, he completely owned the party. He owns the party. There is no doubt about that. And these people are blind followers who would believe and trust anything Trump is saying.
Yep. Yep. I mean, bro.
And it's unfortunate, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So, bro, you see a lot of pushback and backlash from people that you wouldn't normally expect. Like, for example, you got Joe Rogan, Sneeko, saying that MAGA is a bunch of dorks and that what Trump is doing with Epstein and Iran and with ICE, that's not what they voted for, they said. I found that to be interesting. So then I don't know how to reconcile that with this CNN poll that came out that showed MAGA's view of Trump is 100%. So 100% of MAGA still support Trump, but I don't get it. If there's some people who sound like they haven't, so how is it 100%? I think that's just a made up number. I think they made that up and some people believed it. Some people are like, "Yeah, see, it's a cult." And it is, but that's not the poll to prove it. And besides, it's inaccurate. I mean,
No.
it just listen to people who used to be MAGA turn against Trump, like Candace Owens. So what? That makes it okay. So maybe it's not 100%, maybe it's 99% or 98, but 100? That's false.
So, so how are you telling me that you have two people, not two people, but actually I can name four people. Thomas Massey, um, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, and Candace Owens. These are four people with huge platforms. At least you will have few people who will be convinced by these people, right, and be against Donald Trump and leave the MAGA um, 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 crowd. So, how are you telling me that these four influential people left the MAGA movement and they still have 100% support of the people who used to be MAGA? It's just impossible. It's impossible. A lot of people, and I'd say that a decent number of people left the MAGA movement. They don't support it because if you look at it, most people who voted last election, 2024, some of them, a lot of them were Trump supporters since day one. Now you have people who used to be Democrat, but they were so mad at Joe Biden, for his support to Israel and his and him funding the genocide in Gaza, that they said, okay, fuck Joe Biden. We're gonna support Trump. We will vote for Trump because Trump promised that he will end all the wars, no more wars, America
He
first.
exploited
We're gonna
that.
invest here at home.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he
So he
completely
said no more
exploited that, bro.
wars. We
Totally.
we we will release the Epstein files. Everybody was on board. Everybody
Yep.
was happy. Now you had the people who were already MAGA supporters, they were like, we're more happy now, we're even more happy now. And you had people who used to be Democrats be like, now fuck the Democrats. We're voting for Donald Trump because this is what we want. No more wars. We want money invested back home and release the Epstein files. You had some independents who were convinced as well and voted for Trump. Now, fast forward, Donald Trump did the opposite of whatever he was saying, right? He was campaigning on. Of course, you will have a lot of people leave the movement. Of course, you will have even some die-hard MAGA supporters leaving the movement,
100%.
as well
Yeah.
Democrats and independents who voted for Donald Trump. He lost a lot of people. But of course, they're lying about these polls and they're trying to, it's just like how he's lying now. Iran literally destroyed all US military bases in the Middle East. All the trillions of dollars that were spent in the Middle East got destroyed in less than a month. He's out here lying to people that Iran is completely destroyed, that Iran is this and that. These are lies. These people are far from being destroyed. But he's
They've been
lying
replaced right
because
away, bro. What destroying, bro? They've been replaced right away. Like, oh, you took out big parts of the regime. Okay, great, but you forgot about their sons and daughters, and oh yeah, their colleagues too that were are literally there in case something like that happens. Uh, in case you haven't noticed, they're also human and they kind of think and take proper precautions like most of us do. I'm sure they're familiar with the term designated survivor. Are you familiar with that term, bro? Yeah?
designated survivors.
Yes. Are you familiar with that term? Designated survivor?
Hmm.
Yeah. Which is essentially in the United States, like whenever there's some kind of event like a State of the Union, and everyone in the presidential administration is supposed to be there except one, in case something were to happen and they were all to suddenly die at the same time, that person who's not there, and they never tell you which one, is the designated survivor and ends up being president. There was a show called Designated Survivor where Kiefer Sutherland ended up being president because him and it was just a mess. But the point is, in Iran, they got that too. Clearly, they knew that war was coming from the
Listen,
U.S. and Israel Zift, so they planned for this. They had a few designated
these people have
survivors.
been,
So, in a way, it's almost like the son of Ayatollah Khamenei, so Mujtaba Khomeini, he was the designated survivor. And look at that. The regime is still in place. Go ahead, bro.
so these people have been preparing. That's the reality. Listen, I am like, when you criticize, so what's crazy is that the Zionists and Trump and anybody who aligns with their ideology, they want you to be 100% on board and supporting whatever is happening now. And as soon as you criticize what is currently happening, which everybody should have the opportunity to criticize and freedom, because that's what we thought we have, freedom of speech. But as soon as you criticize what is currently happening in Iran, then you are labeled anti-America, that you hate America, blah blah blah. And this is a method that they're utilizing to silence people. So people are silent, just like accusing people of being anti-Semites as soon as you criticize Israel, right? That's been happening for a long time. Not
Yep.
anymore. People don't care now. People criticize the hell out of Israel because of all the crimes that they have been committing.
Yeah. And people
So,
now, I mean, bro, look,
that
remember,
being said,
we're not on TikTok, and we could say like, if you call us anti-Semites, you have no idea what that word means. And by the way, being Semitic doesn't automatically mean you're Jewish. In fact, most of the time it means you're Arab or Palestinian in this case. So people from Eastern Europe and who created the modern day version of Zift are not exactly Semites. In fact, they're the real anti-Semites since they go after the real Semites. And hijacking Judaism or using Judaism as a cover for crimes against humanity is very outdated and doesn't really quite work anymore. And people kind of see through that. So yeah.
so um, these Iran, the Iranian regime has been preparing for this war for at least the past 20 years. So, one thing people misunderstand that if you have if you put sanctions on any country, right? You give that
Yep.
country an opportunity to rely on themselves, to produce everything locally, to be truly independent, right? They don't rely on the US, they don't rely on Europe or any other place. You give truly, when you put sanctions on people who really believe in their country, these people are going to be super productive and they will rely on themselves. They will be 100% independent. Now, Iran is not a weak nation like we have been told. In fact, they are very powerful and they've been preparing for all this. And that shows with the missiles that they have been launching on US military bases and Israel. Like, we're being lied to. They have not revealed the true damage of this war, which they call military operation. This is a war. It's not a military. It's a war that Donald Trump started without the approval of Congress.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. So it's illegal, unconstitutional, unauthorized, yada, 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 yada. But here's the thing: does Donald Trump give a shit about any of that? Has
No,
he ever?
he doesn't care. He never cared.
Bro, this man believes he has unrestrained and unchecked power. So, what exactly does he have to gain from doing things the quote unquote right way? Or if he doesn't, what's the punishment if he doesn't? There isn't one. It's like this guy is not accountable to who's he accountable to? Us? What can we do? I mean,
Nobody, just people marching like the No Kings, but that's it.
that's it. It's like,
Um,
bro, okay,
Nothing real,
when people
nothing.
make a big deal out of these protests, it's like, okay, great. It's better than nothing, but what's it going to accomplish? No, it's just going to put you on TV. It's just going to get you attention. That's all you
Yep.
want. You guys just want clout. You don't actually want
You
to change things. Why don't you run for
you
office? Why don't you actually do something to get this guy out of, or why don't you act instead of just being on your phone or just being, marching and then waiting for Bruce Springsteen to come sing a song about how you'll feel better. What? It's like people just want to get together and just be told whatever they want to hear so they could feel better about doing nothing. Is that a harsh? Is that too harsh to say, or am I onto something here? I feel like that's just what I see, bro. I mean,
Exactly,
it's the same shit. And
exactly.
it's like this guy wins, you cry, you march, but you don't actually run. You don't stand for anything, and then when there's people that do stand for something, you shit on them and say, "No, they're not old enough. They're not experienced enough." But the people that lose, you always cover for them. You always make excuses for them. You blame everyone and everything except yourselves. And you just march and march and march and sing and shit yourself, right? While this guy is still doing what he's doing. I mean, bro, help me out here.
So, in fact,
Am I
a
onto something or am I just
decent,
being an asshole?
right? And
Am
no,
I onto something? I don't know.
no, no, you're no, I completely agree with you,
You don't
with
have
you.
to, by the way. You don't
So
have to.
a normal, a no, I know, but I'm saying I do agree. But a normal leader, a normal president, once they notice that a significant number of people is unhappy with how they're doing things and are in fact protesting all over the country, they'd be like, oh, okay, wait, maybe I need to address people. Maybe I need to explain myself. Maybe I need to change how I'm doing things, right? That's
Yeah.
a normal leader. That's a normal
Yeah.
president, not
Yeah.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump doesn't care. You can have the entire
But bro,
people of
my,
the
my
United
point is
States
that
of America protesting.
the people are the problem also, not just him. That's the thing. Go ahead. Sorry.
Of course, of course, of course. But Trump is not that type of people who would just change the way he's doing things
Yeah.
because people are protesting.
Right.
He
Yeah.
doesn't care. He
No.
cares up he cares about that man. He's full of himself. Look at how he's always, talking high about himself. He doesn't appreciate anybody. Bro, you can be his daughter, his son, his whatever, the closest person to Trump. You criticize Trump one time, it's over. It's like you gotta like
I mean,
no one
bro,
is
Zoran
perfect, right?
Mamdani called him a
But Trump,
fascist right to his face, and I still can't believe what happened with that. I still can't believe how much
yeah,
Zoran
but
Mamdani chugged
Mamdani,
Trump. And yeah,
Mamdani
he's a
is
separate case. He's
Mamdani
different than most people, but at the same time, bro, it is like there is
is
possible,
smart.
there is hope. There is hope out there when you can even like he did something that not even Melania could do, which was that he got Donald Trump to bend the knee and roll over and kiss his ass.
He's
Like he didn't
smart.
sell out.
Well, he's smart.
Trump sold his base out to Zoran in a way. So, but go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah. But Mamdani is smart. Most
very,
Democrats,
very.
they wouldn't. Most Democrats.
They wouldn't endorse him. They wouldn't
Hold on,
endorse
bro.
him. Yeah,
I'll be back 1 second.
sure,
I'll
sure,
be
sure.
back 1 second.
Yeah, no, no problem, bro. No problem. Yeah, but yeah, guys, you know what? I'm gonna pull up a clip for you. I'm gonna wait till he gets back. Well, I got a couple clips in mind. But yeah, there was this interview with this famous businessman from New York talking about his meeting recently with Zoran Mamdani. And, while we're on that topic, and you got to hear what he says. And this guy really opposed him and just said all kinds of things and said, oh, anyone's better than Mamdani until he won and then started respecting him. And then I went to actually meet him and then give him some advice and be like, oh, yeah, you went to this school, I went to this school. We're not that different. You have a chance to do something good or to do something bad, and we'll see how it goes. And this guy I'll show you the video in greater detail in a second, but you guys are going to love this. Okay. I was very, woof, just gave me again, more hope about him and what other people could do.
Okay. So, can you hear me? Sorry. So what I was saying, Zohran Mamdani is very smart. Most Democrats in
They still have yet
office,
to endorse him.
whether in Congress or or governors or whatever, they wouldn't meet Donald Trump. Why? Because it's a fight. This is my enemy. This is they consider Donald Trump as an enemy. Therefore, they are not ready to meet with Donald Trump. Now, Mamdani is a true leader because he doesn't care about politics. He cares about the people of New York City. And he knows that if he truly wants to do something for the people of New York, you have to fucking work with the President of the United States of America.
Yes,
Whether you like the president
yes,
or hate, I
and the
don't like
governor.
Trump. I don't
As
like
mayor,
Trump.
you have to work with
I,
the head of the state government and the federal government. Period. Regardless of how you feel about them. Period.
I do not support most of Trump's policies. However, and that is my right as an American citizen. However, if I am a mayor of a city, absolutely I'd work with Donald Trump because
Yeah,
this is the president of the United States. He has most power in the country. You
yeah.
cannot claim that you want
Whether
to
you
work for
like it
your
or not,
people for
whether you like it or not.
yeah. So this game that the Democrats are playing, and I wish other politicians will do the same. You know, you might hate the man, you might criticize him, you might not like his policies, but if you want to get, shit done and work for your constituents and the people who elected you, then you have to work with the people you got to work with.
Yep.
Like both Democrat, but that shows you that all politicians, most not all, but most politicians are in office for the wrong reason. But Zohran Mamdani is actually one of the few people who are there to work for people.
Yeah,
They want to do
bro.
something for people.
You know why I like him so much? Let me just explain to people why I like him. For one, he accomplished the impossible. Everyone said, like, technically, bro, he was not supposed to win. And he knows that, by the way. Okay. He was not supposed to,
Yeah,
someone like him is
it
not
was a
supposed to get
shock.
elected mayor in the most Zionistic Jewish city in America. Let's be real. Okay. And he knows that too. He's
Yeah,
smart, like you said. So it's risky, running on very progressive platform, in a very big city like New York, and also on a pro-Palestine platform, despite not dealing with foreign policy, wanting to reassure the voters that yes, you're there to serve New Yorkers, not Israel, like most U.S. politicians, regardless of what office they're in. And he is not shy and somehow charms his way into getting people who talk so much shit about him during the election to agree with him, right? And before the election, they had no respect for him because they'd never seen or heard from him. Now that he's mayor, they respect him, and I've never seen that before. Like someone gets so much respect and actually get shit done fast. Like in his first 3 months, bro, he
yeah.
hasn't even been there 3 months, and he's already done a lot. Like
He's
cleaning up
been
the snow,
working.
playing
He's
paying
working.
people $45 an hour to help clean the snow. Fucking universal child care within the first week. Free universal child care in the first week. He fucking made it legal to say fuck Israel again. Okay, all this stuff, right? Like he's actually doing the things. Like he's still the same guy he was during the campaign. What a shock. You never see that before.
Yeah,
How often do you see that?
no.
Never.
And this is why he got
People are,
elected,
yeah,
and people people voted for him despite the $22 million
APAC,
that
APAC.
all these billionaires, the billionaires
More than
spend
that, bro. Way
20
more than
more
that,
than
bro.
what?
way
like
more,
50. The 22
way
was
more.
the
It was the
22
most
million dollars
expensive.
were
It
like
was
the
the most
very.
expensive mayoral race in U.S. history. Actually, that race, the
Yeah,
most
yeah, but
expensive.
like I believe the last few weeks,
Yeah,
not the entire campaign, but the last few weeks of the campaign, they spent $22 million, to prevent Mamdani from winning. It didn't happen because this is the power of people. Money is not really important in politics, and Mamdani proved that money is not important in politics. That
he's a symbol
if
of
you are
hope. I've heard
genuine,
someone say.
if you are genuine, if you go and talk to people face to face, right, knock on doors. The man was everywhere. We've seen him going from club to club right before the weekend before the election. um, you know,
You're right.
went to all sort of clubs, talking to people, knocking on doors.
He's relatable.
Like I've
Because okay,
seen.
not just because he's young, bro, but because and not just because he's on social media. You see people, a lot of Democrats could just be like, "Oh yeah, if I just go on a podcast, then
Mm,
I'll win." No, it's not that simple.
no,
Okay,
no,
it's
no, no,
part
no.
of it, but it's like it's not about doing podcasts. It's about just showing your human side. Whether you're doing a podcast, whether you're playing
Being
sports,
humble,
whether
being
you're
humble.
going out, yeah, just being humble, being relatable, and actually showing your human side and not sounding like a robot. Which yes, I still see a lot of Democrats talking like a political AI robot, like Chat GPT. It's really just annoying and frustrating, and it's like, and yeah, no wonder
Yeah,
you guys wouldn't line up behind him because you're jealous of him. And yeah, bro, a lot of people, a lot of Dems are so. I'll never forget, man. Other than Trump kissing his ass, yes, there was a lot of Dems that refused to endorse him and still do, and I want to shit on them, by the way. But the ones who did, it was like everyone suddenly lined up behind him with their lips puckered up, like, "Oh, what's your secret? Oh, help us win elections again." Like, I can guarantee you that that's what happened. And it's like, yeah, that's what they should do. Because, frankly, yeah, a lot of people saying, like, even on TikTok, bro, when I see videos of him, even being asked about the war in Iran, a lot of people in the comments are like, this guy should be president. And if he wasn't born in Uganda, he could run. But yeah, it's of course someone who is a good example of what the Democrats should be. He can't be president. But people like Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they're allowed to be president. Okay? See, like this is just, and I'd pretty much given up before I'd heard of this guy. I'd given up completely on everything. This guy helped restore my hope in the future and
absolutely.
politics and
Ab-
in the issue of Palestine, even.
Absolutely.
Like it's just like that. And I'll never forget that this guy Nasser Meshni, who's the head of the Palestine Australian network. He's like,
Uh,
yeah, the Mamdani win is a Palestine win. You good, bro?
so yeah, so Mamdani, but also people they trying to also Mamdani was, you know, uh, but let's not forget that most of the Jewish people in New York City voted for Mamdani because they
Yeah.
know that he
Yeah.
doesn't have any problem with the Jewish people, that
Yes.
he's not against the Jewish people, that
Yeah.
he's said he show he's always been there for the Jewish people, and
Yeah.
Jewish people voted for him.
They
The
did.
Like most of the Jewish people who
No
knew that
Zios, obviously, but
Mamdani
the all the
is
Jews, the anti-Zio Jews, which it seems like a majority of New
eh,
York Jews now are anti-Zionist based off the vote. But go ahead. Go ahead.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, because they
Yep.
know that that the Israeli government is trying to,
Mm-hmm.
make the world hate them,
Yep.
because they're using the religion of Judaism to commit crimes against humanity. And that's why most of the Jewish people in New York City, they are saying no, not in our name,
Yeah.
right?
They're
So,
anti-Zionist now. I hope. Yeah.
so exactly.
Yeah.
And in fact, if all Jewish people vote against you, there is no way you will win in New York. So he won because a lot of them voted for him, just like the other people of New York City. Mamdani is somebody who was liked by all New Yorkers. every community in New York City
Yep.
because he was actually out there talking to people. He came to people. He reached out to every community and talked to them, right?
He tried
Unlike
to understand them,
Republicans,
especially the ones who
Republicans
voted for
show.
Trump the year before. And he said, and even Trump was happy with the fact that most of Trump's voters voted for Mamdani. And yeah, you're right, among other things.
Uh, exactly. So, for example, when you have a clown like Randy Fine, you know,
What did
that
Bassem
guy,
Youssef call him, bro?
that
What did
guy
Bassem Youssef call him? That fat bitch from Miami.
with yeah. So Randy Fine,
Bro,
you would never see
everyone
Randy
hates him.
Fine.
Nobody likes that guy.
Yeah.
No one on the planet likes
So
that guy.
you
Go ahead.
so when you have a clown like Randy Fine who got elected in Congress, but never seen the man talking about the issues his constituents are facing.
No,
Never.
he was put there
That man,
specifically by APAC, bro. Like he is an APAC
so
stooge more than anything else. Yeah.
all he does is Muslims, Muslims,
Yep.
Muslims,
Yep.
Muslims, Muslims. I'm
Yep.
like, were you elected
You
to
probably
talk about
follow
the
him on X,
Muslims?
don't you? You probably see him on X.
I see him. I don't follow that clown, but every time I go on X, I see him. I
I
see
hate
his
I
posts all
hate
over
the
the
way the
places.
algorithm works like that, bro. I hate that so
Yeah.
much. I hate that.
So
Just like fucking
so
TikTok.
so my so the thing you'd never see Randy Fine campaigning and reaching out to a Muslim community, right? Trying to get their votes.
No.
So that's the difference between
No.
somebody like Mamdani
Definitely
and
not.
these other people. Mamdani went to
Mhm.
every community in New York City, and that is why he was liked by most people because he talked to every community and he went to to the taxi drivers at LaGuardia airport. He went all over the places.
Well, bro, now
Name
okay,
one
so
place.
you probably heard about what happened recently at New York LaGuardia Airport, where there was this collision between an Air Canada plane and a fire truck. So Zoran, along with the governor of New York, teamed up with the Trump administration to help, solve this issue because someone got hurt. There was a crash. A lot of people got hurt, and hundreds of thousands, if not millions, worth of damages. Zoran was there working with Trump's Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy. And I thought that was like, wow, just seeing him with all these people doing what he's doing, it's like it's unbelievable, bro. That's why I'm saying it's like I still can't believe he's mayor, right? Like it seems impossible in a world like this today. Like something like that happening, you know? Like I said, like I still like believe like he's not supposed to be the mayor, but he is.
Yeah,
Allah put him there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah's with him and Allah helped lead him to this path and it couldn't have come at a more better time when people are desperate for people like it's basically, bro, let's put it this way. There needs to be Zoran Mamdani's everywhere, right? In every aspect of the country, in every position of government,
yeah,
like whether it's their governors, senators, congressmen, and women, like if there was more people like that with the spirit, the fight, the integrity, the confidence, the accomplishments of someone like that, the charisma and all that, a lot could get done, and Dems could never lose again,
yeah.
right?
And
Especially on
yeah,
the issue
I'd
of
say
Palestine more than anything. They'll never lose on the
yeah.
issue of Palestine again.
And I, I want to see more people like Mamdani. I want to see more people like Tucker Carlson. Yeah.
Oh
I never
man,
thought I never thought
bro, but
I'd
there's people
say
who
this.
still hate him. They're just
But
like, oh
listen,
fuck him. But I'm
okay,
like,
why?
yeah, I like him.
More
Yeah,
people like Tucker Carlson, more people like Candace Owens, more people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I never
I
thought I'd
I'd
say
love to have her
this.
on someday. I'd love to have her on someday.
Listen, we can. Let's reach out to her. But listen, I never thought that one day I'd say this. But why do I like more people like her? Because I want people who are real. I want people who are not fake. So these people are people who have they do what they believe in and who genuinely care about people. So Marjorie Taylor Greene was always Republican, MAGA, Trump supporter, whatever.
Not
But when
anymore.
she's
Not anymore, bro.
when she saw that there are children who are being killed, when she saw that American tax money is being sent to fund a genocide, then we saw the real Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
That that she has principles and values most than, more than all these politicians. Just
So
like Candace, just like Tucker Carlson. So these are real people. We want real, genuine people who really care about people, not fake politicians who are there for their own benefits.
yep. Yep, exactly. I just yeah, we can only, only time will tell that if we're going to get more of those, but yeah, like I said with the elections of like someone like Zoran, I just see, yeah, I didn't think it was possible until now. Like I have like it certainly raised my expectations. Like I had very low expectations. Now they've gone up a little bit. Like the bar is up now. Like the bar used to be so low that you couldn't see it, but the bar's gone up. So it's like, and once again, bro, I can't get it out of my head how much Trump just fell in love with this guy. And it's because, other than the fact that they're both from the same part of New York, Zoran actually represented, and he's did such a good job of connecting with him on such a personal level, especially mentioning the fact that Zoran campaigned by this pharmacy where Trump's dad used to go. Like he said that to him, and of course he liked that. And it's like, oh, he did his homework. Like he really did his homework, and clearly it worked. Like he got what he wanted, and apparently now they're texting with each other. Like they're
Oh yeah,
close. They're getting close.
yeah.
Him and Trump. And people want to know. It's like they were like, "Oh, can I see the text?" And I'm like, I don't know if he'll show them, but yeah, real quick, bro. Do you remember this guy named Rabbi Shmuley?
I just was watching a video right before. Yep, yep, yep. I just watched that one. I was laughing
Bro,
so
why didn't you
hard.
say it? Why didn't you mention it or bring it up? We could show it here. We're gonna watch and react to
Okay,
some shit.
okay.
Okay.
Right before you started the show, I was watching the video and I was laughing. The guy was so funny. Who made the video?
Yep. Yep. No, I mean I don't know who recorded it, but wait, let me see here.
Rabbi Shmuley is a Zionist fucking pig. Here he is, right on camera. Hi, everybody. I have no problem saying it. Rabbi
Say your
Shmuley.
name. Say your name.
I'm Salvo, baby. I have no problem
What's
saying
your
it.
phone number? Say it
Why
all.
would I give a
Say it
Zionist?
all. Say
Why
it
would I
all.
give
Say
a
it all. Say it all. Say it
Zionist
all.
pig? Relax. Why would I give a
Excuse
Zionist?
me.
Why would I
Excuse
give?
me. Excuse me.
Oh shit. Oh
Man
shit.
is attacking me.
I have it on video.
Right now.
I have it on
Stand over
video.
to me. I have it on video.
I have it on
He's
vid-
attacking as a Jew. It's a hate crime. He's threatening me.
I called him a
This second,
Zionist. I didn't
He
touch
came
him.
over to
I didn't
me
break
and I
any
filmed
law.
the
I have
whole
it.
thing.
I have
I'm
it
a
on
very
video. I have it
well-known
on video. I
rabbi.
just talked to him.
He
I
is
didn't touch him.
threatening my life.
No, I
and
didn't.
He has to be arrested, please.
I have it on video. No, I
Please,
didn't.
he has to be arrested.
They know who you are, bro.
Please, sir, he has to be arrested.
Rabbi
Let me
Shmuley,
get the whole thing.
what
Get the
happened
whole
to
thing.
dialogue?
Let's see if the
What happened to
NYPD
dialogue,
takes
Rabbi
his hate
Shmuley?
crime
Is it?
I think that's his wife recording.
Yeah.
That's his wife. Yeah, let's keep going.
Is your
bro.
husband?
This is insane.
You let him in the street acting such a fool every time, huh?
Debbie, bring it here.
Debbie.
This is what happened to me at the Fontainebleau Hotel. I won't
Nobody-
put up with it.
Rabbi
This
Shmuley,
man
why are
is
you
threatening
lying?
me. He is harassing
Rabbi
me.
Shmuley,
He's
why are you
guilty of a hate
lying?
crime. And now let's see if the NYPD.
Rabbi Shmuley, I have it on video right here.
I was doing a video about this is about anti-Semitism.
I'm doing
this
a
play.
video
We're in the middle
too.
of an intermission. This man came over.
I was at the play
attacked
too.
me, harassed me. He already called us fucking Jews upstairs. I have a woman who
No, I
witnessed
didn't.
it.
No, I
You
didn't.
called
I'm
us
with my-
fucking Jews
I'm
as
with
you
my
left.
wife.
Ooh, I've never heard him swear before. That's a first.
Over there.
And he just
He would always like censor himself. He'd be like, "Oh, people say bitches," and I'm like, "Bro, really? Come on."
attacked me.
I
My
have
name
it
is
on
Rabbi
video.
Shmuley Boteres. He will tell you.
They know
I'm
who
a
you
very
are, Rabbi
well-known
Shmuley. They know who you are, Rabbi Shmuley. You're making
he
a
attacked me, and this is a hate crime.
you're making a scene, Rabbi
He
Shmuley.
attacked me, and this is a hate crime. Now, why did you walk over to me? Tell him. Why did you walk over to me? What did you say? Why did you
Yes,
walk
sir.
over to me? What did you say?
I said you're a Zionist.
No, you said I'm an effing Zionist. You started attacking.
I'm allowed to swear at
my
you.
Safety.
No, I didn't.
Threatening my safety.
No, I didn't.
You invaded my personal space to harm me.
I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to say he's a Zionist pig.
He is a Zionist
I'm allowed
pig.
to say he's a Zionist pig.
I mean, is technically, bro. I mean, is that a crime? Just saying someone's a Zionist pig? That's it?
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
Why do you escalate, Rabbi Shmuley? Why do you escalate? Why do you escalate, Rabbi Shmuley?
Officer, Jews have to be safe in New York City.
Sir, I have freedom of speech. Sir,
Jews cannot be attacked because they weren't Jews. If someone's black and they're attacked, that's racist.
Rabbi Shmuley completely losing his mind.
This guy is so funny.
People are making
It's freedom
This
of
guy is
speech. It's freedom of speech. I can call him a Zionist. It's freedom of speech. We're not in Israel. I got it all on video if you want to see it.
What happened?
I know him. I was at the play too with my wife.
You were-
Yeah. I know who he is. He's a Zionist. I saw he was filming a video saying, in my opinion, a bunch of hateful things, right?
But
So-
where was that video being taken?
Just right here.
To you or like?
No, his wife was filming him, and I just went up and filmed him and called him a Zionist, and that's when he ran to you guys right away. And I can show it to you.
Yeah, let's see what you got.
Okay, bro. Wow.
Yeah, so absolutely.
Really?
If
What
I
a
see him-
surprise, bro.
if-
Okay, bro, we got to see. I'm sorry, bro, but this fucking clip of Bill fucking Maher is all over X. I keep scrolling and Bill Maher keeps coming up. Do you see this shit? Are we looking at the same thing?
No, I haven't seen him.
Bill Maher
Maher.
keeps coming up. Why? Because he's
I-
talking shit about pro-Palestinians as always. But sorry, go ahead, bro. Did you want to say something? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that if I probably see Rabbi Shmuley, I would probably not call him Zionist pig. I would just try to, have a debate with him. However,
Bro, he's not
if
gonna
this
do
guy
it.
just
He's
but
not
if this guy if this guy decided to call him a Zionist pig,
Yeah.
it's like he has the right to do so, just like Donald Trump, who is the president of the United States of America, calls people clowns, call people names, and every day attacking
Rabbi-
people, right?
Yep.
And he called Joe Biden son of a bitch.
Representative of the people, but you also want to be a leader.
Yes.
And you have
Sorry, bro. You were saying?
I was saying that Donald Trump called Joe Biden son of a bitch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no.
Like,
I mean, Joe
you know what I'm
Biden
saying?
once said, bro, to be fair, Joe Biden once called a Fox News reporter a stupid son of a bitch. I
son of
remember
a yeah.
that.
These people are not. So these are supposed to be the people leading by example.
Yeah, bro,
Look,
they're assholes. They're
they're
secretly-
assholes.
They're assholes. I mean, all of them. You don't think Obama's an asshole? You think he's a nice guy act that he puts on? And that's what I think, bro. You know what? I can't stand.
He's better than them.
Just gotta-
He's still better
listen.
than them.
But bro, listen. you gotta-
Obama's
I
still
gotta-
better
I
than
just
them.
have to. I know. I have to rant about this. The way people drool over these establishment politicians, it's like it's not even the politicians that drive me crazy anymore, as much as their idiot supporters in the audience cheering for them and just believing whatever comes out of their mouths. It's like, are you people in a cult? Like all the people who supported Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden, even after he embarrassed himself 2 years ago, right, and exposed himself, there were still people behind him, and he were like, "Folks, I don't speak as you do," and they were still like, "That's okay. Who cares?" And they're like, "Yeah, really? Are you guys really? What? Like, bro? I just have to know what's wrong with these people. What's wrong
Bro,
with them?
you gotta
Are they
know.
that easily manipulated? And plus, again,
Yeah,
this guy
yeah,
can barely
yep,
talk,
yep.
and you know that he just admitted it, and you still think he's better. You still think he could beat Donald Trump? Really?
People are easily manipulated. People are
Dumb.
unfortunately
Democratic
unfortunately
shill
most
voters.
m- And unfortunately, in both parties, most people are followers. Most people are, easy to brainwash, and they
So
don't even
easy, bro.
question. They don't even question. They don't even question. And and they made it so hard for people to think outside of the box that as soon as you start questioning what's happening and asking questions and trying to use your mind, then you will see attacks from all sides. You know what I'm saying? You will see people calling you traitor, calling you, anti-America, hating
Yep.
the United States of America, calling you names, and they will all attack you until you are just quiet. So if you're not really a strong, extremely strong person, you will just run away, and you would just like be like, man, this is not worth it. So this is a strategy to just stop people from using their minds and try to find the truth.
Yeah. No, you're right, man. I think that um okay, let's put it this way, bro. Whenever you're seeing and okay, this is and I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this. Specifically when I'm watching like one of their I don't know, their ridiculous campaign rallies where they're doing is just talking like a robot, repeating the same old talking points as always. And yeah, the crowd, as always, just goes along with it, doesn't question it, just believes whatever. And yeah, it drives me crazy. And as soon as I see that, I'm like, okay, here's the thing. If you guys watch nothing but CNN and MSNBC, I mean, of course, yeah, you're always going to keep voting for these people. They're always going to keep disappointing you, but you're going to keep voting for them anyway. And that's how they stay in power. And they count on that, guys. They count on you being ignorant so they could stay in power. They think you're stupid, most of these politicians. Okay. And in some ways, it's true. You guys prove it all the time by just nodding along. Yeah, it's not just the Republican Party that's a cult. It's a Democrat Party too. They're both cults, right? And that's why I'm like, don't ever be a part of these things. Just be independent. Think for yourself. Okay. If you're running for office and you have to run in the major parties, then definitely, okay, be independent, but, in one of the two major parties. And that's possible. Trump did that. Zoran Mamdani did that. So, yeah. You good, bro?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I saw you looking at something. So I was like,
Can you hear me?
yeah. So let's hear from this lunatic Bill Maher. Let's hear what he has to say. I mean, I feel like I'm going to be forced to watch it one way or another. All right, here we go.
One is that you're always having to serve two masters at once. One is that you are a representative of the people, but you also want to be a leader.
Yes.
And you have to always make that call. To me, what the Democrats are not doing with this is leading. The energy in their parties with the young people who learn everything about Israel on TikTok. They don't know shit. And they're
No, Bill. No. Everything I learned about Palestine, I learned from family experience. And yeah, to be fair, a lot of people learn about it from TikTok, but uh actually it's you that doesn't know shit. And I can't help but notice you never ever bring someone on to challenge your outdated ignorant beliefs.
leaders are not standing up and saying, kids, you don't know what's going on here. Every war Israel has fought is a war of defense.
Right.
No.
Every war, they were attacked first. And they're not doing that. You're always having to serve two masters.
I'm sick of people like him. I don't know why he's still on television, but nobody watches him anymore. And yet,
Well, he
people
well
still share his
he's
shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck did he say this time? Oh, blah 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 blah.
can you
Uh,
can you play us some of that PBD and his buddy Adam.
Bro, are
Let's
you
watch.
trying to like torture
Let's
me?
watch these
What
people.
what what are you trying to do to me right now?
No,
You're trying to torture. You're trying
uh,
to make me. Are
we
you trying
did.
to make me throw up? You want me to throw up? If you want me to throw up, we'll just watch another Rabbi Shmuley clip, okay, bro? These people are crazy.
Can we, hey, bro? Can
Okay,
we? Can me and you? Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me ask you this. Can we, me and you, go on their show and debate them?
you want to? Okay,
Yeah.
but bro,
Let's
we
keep.
just got to we got
Listen.
to really
Let's
prep.
keep. Let's
We
keep.
got. Go ahead.
Let, let's keep emailing. Let's keep emailing PBD and be like, please, 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 we want to represent the other side and we want to talk to you and Adam. Please, please, please.
I don't know if he'll respond to us like begging, but I think
Well,
that
we,
the more shows we do, bro, the more exposure we get, he'll see us and then invite us on. And we'll say directly right now to the camera, bro,
yeah,
say it.
because we just trying to.
PBD, if you're watching us, bring us on your show so we can debate you and Adam on Palestine, especially on Iran, which you're so
o-
fucking wrong about.
Okay, okay.
Okay?
Let me say this, PBD.
He's
I
watching now,
used to
bro.
like you a lot. I used to like you a lot. I used to like him. I used to when he was just about investment, about trying to help people and giving. He used to make good videos, right?
No,
But then later,
not really.
I just
I was never a big fan of his,
well,
but discovering that he was a
I
Zio just
wasn't a
made
fan.
me hate him even more,
I'm
really.
not saying I w- I'm not saying that I was a fan, but I used to like his mind, how he was pretending that he wants to help people, and I like
Yeah,
anybody who wants to help people, right?
yeah,
Advise people, guide people, and just somebody who's
yeah.
genuinely trying to help people. However,
Help his
I was
pocketbook. Yeah,
very shocked.
yeah.
I was very shocked. I have been seeing him recently for the last 2 years. All he does is um, attacks on Muslims and and supporting and defending a genocide, and even now supporting the United States and Israel killing his own people in Iran.
Yeah. No, well, bro, and that's actually what. And Patrick, if you're listening, you're not Iranian. You haven't lived there in like almost 40 years. You don't know shit about the country, and you think you can lecture everybody about it. You don't know shit about it. Okay. You refuse to. In fact, you refuse to go there. So, what exactly are you trying to do? You know what I mean? What exactly are you trying to do? You're pathetic.
Like what's
Anyway,
happening? Like he's claiming that Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu are only fighting the Iranian regime. That is a lie. There has been multiple sources that confirmed that they've been killing innocent people, that they've been bombing civilian areas, that they've bombed that school where they had 160 or 150 uh, girls murdered, and people like I was gonna say P Diddy, but they have the same name almost, bro. PBD. he's he's
Patrick
literally
Shinbet
defending.
David. Bro.
He's li- he's literally defending what's happening, and he's happy that his people, that the Iranian people, are getting killed.
Yeah, of course he is. Because again, bro, what have I told you on X? Because you like to tag me in some shit, and I'm like, bro, let me
Anything,
just say,
anything I see, I gotta tag you, bro.
and I appreciate that, and I'm like, bro, you know I'd like this, especially. Wait, I gotta find that comedian who does the spot on impression. Wait, bro, ready? So Zane, can you pull up the clip of the people from Iran? You know, if we're really gonna try out this war, you know, You still there, man?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Hey, and by the way, you were very close to his how he sounds like. Hey, Rob.
Rob, can you pull up the clip for me, Ron? So listen, so this guy Reza Pahlavi, he really doesn't know what we're gonna try now. Well, if you really want to understand, think about this, folks. Think about this. What the regime is trying to do. This guy Trump, he knows what he's doing, folks. Rob, can you pull up this quick clip from Trump talking about how the regime is about to collapse, and anybody, you know, trying to speak up against this doesn't really know what they're talking about, bro. Shut up. I guess that wasn't that good.
No, he wasn't. You're like very close to him, bro.
I don't
I
know,
just
bro.
need you haven't like I think if you pay him a little more attention, like practice more, you almost sound like him, almost.
Yeah, I'm still
But
practicing.
you need to find Rob, your own Rob, so Rob can play you all the clips.
You, can you be my Rob, please? How about you, bro?
I can be a Rob. I
Yes,
can be a Rob.
please, bro. Bro,
I
this
can
is
be a
literally,
Rob.
bro. Your setup is the same as Rob's. It's literally the same. What I've seen for. Okay, fine. Fuck it. We'll just watch PBD. Let's talk some shit on PBD. But first, bro, since we were talking about Mamdani, let's get back to this real quick. So he's been doing some press conferences and some interviews lately, and he's been getting some good, including from this billionaire businessman who's in charge of some of the largest grocery stores in New York City. And his name, he's a Republican billionaire businessman who he ran for mayor as a Republican back in 2013. His daughter is in charge of, or she's the chairwoman of the Manhattan Republican Party. He was like, yeah, anyone but Mamdani. Now he likes him. Oh, and he recently went with him. He recently met up with him at City Hall. And the businessman's name is John Katzimatidis, right? He's like what, 80 years old, born in Greece, but lifelong New York City resident, and just had some advice for the new mayor. Let me show you the clip of him on this of John Katzimatidis talking about Zoran Mamdani. It's pretty fascinating. He says some things I want you to pay attention to.
Okay.
Well, welcome back to Inside City Hall. Our next guest has had a very interesting political week, meeting with Mayor Mamdani on Wednesday in City Hall, and then yesterday, sitting down with President Trump in the White House. John Katzimatidis wears many hats. He ran for mayor in 2013, and he owns, among other things, the Gristedes grocery chain and the WABC radio station, where he hosts his own show. John Katzimatidis joins me now to talk about all of that and more. Welcome back to the program. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. And I'm always happy to come down here. And I can't believe how busy 23rd Street is and how busy the Chelsea Markets is.
The Chelsea Market gets a lot of foot traffic. There's a lot of tourists downstairs. So listen, I want to work backwards. You were at City Hall, I think, on Wednesday, and then yesterday
Yes.
you were in Washington. And this was a Greek Independence Day celebration, right?
Well, on a Thursday, yes, there was originally I made an appointment to see the mayor at 2:30 at City Hall on Wednesday, and I also had a dinner thing in Washington with the president. So I jokingly called up the mayor and I said, "Well, I got to make a decision. Do I come to yours or do I go to the dinner?" And I ended up, I skipped the dinner on Wednesday night, some congressional dinner. And I went to City Hall and we spent 45 minutes together. And I enjoyed meeting him. I'm a Brooklyn tech guy. He is a Bronx science guy. So how do you say it in Brooklyn?
For those who don't know what he's talking about, so right now he's talking about the high schools that him and Zoran went to. So he went to Brooklyn Technical School, which is a very popular one in Brooklyn. Zoran went to the Brooklyn School of Science, which John here knows many people from.
Kibitz about that. Bronx Science and Brooklyn Tech were always competitors, along with Stuyvesant. And I told him about the fact that me and Len Riggio, God rest his soul, we raised the $10 million originally for Brooklyn Tech, first time ever for a public high school. And then we went on to talk about, and he was he didn't realize that. And then Bronx Science followed, and I think Stuyvesant followed, and I think Brooklyn Tech. I think we're up to 20 million now.
So what was the mayor like in person from your perspective? Because you were obviously been very critical of him. Did he charm you in person?
I fought the war. You know, I had my mission. I failed. And we joked about that. I said, look, but I enjoyed meeting him. He has a great smile. And he has a great personality. Look, what is the real Zoran Mandami? I don't know. I'm hoping, I'll tell you what I said to him. I said to him is, you're a smart guy. You went to Bronx Science. You have a choice. You're on the edge of disaster or you're at the edge of success. And if the S&P and
Bro, we're gonna.
First of all, he said.
First of all, bro, listen.
He said Mamdani. He said Mamdani. He didn't even.
Yes, that's correct. But, bro, remember this guy. Yeah, and he's right. This guy was one of the most most sickest, meanest people against Zoran during the election. Now look at that. He thinks he's smart. What a surprise. It turns out if you actually meet the guy, maybe he's not such a bad guy. And look at that. He found a way to connect with him.
Yeah, maybe he.
And he's like, oh, yeah, you went to this school. That means you're smart. It's like, oh, shit. Hey, why didn't you say that before the election? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because you didn't think you would have to deal with him. But wait, since he's the mayor now, you have to respect him. Right?
All the other rating companies and the bonds.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, man. Sorry.
No, I just remembered. I was Micah Rappaport. All his content is about Mamdani until now.
Oh, yeah.
Every day he's posting something about Mamdani.
Yeah, Zoran Mamdani lives rent free in his head. But yeah, bro. Yeah, I'm fascinated by this guy now and what he's saying. Okay, I feel like I want to meet. But, bro, it gets better. Watch this.
Put you on the crap list. See, I didn't say the other four-letter word. I'm not allowed to say it. Put in P. And all the other rating companies and the bonds. Put you on the crap list. See, I didn't say the other four-letter word. I'm not allowed to say that. It put you on the crap list. Then we could be at the edge of disaster for New York City. With President Trump, I said to him, President Trump, my opinion, will give you all the money you need for affordable housing. And we talked about affordable housing. And I said to him at one point that when I was running for mayor in 2013, and we had a long discussion about that, I wanted affordable housing for the NYPD, the FDNY. Why? I want the cops living in my building. I want the cops and fire department living in the 5 boroughs. I don't want them to be 60 miles away. This is not right. I want them here. And I think that's very important. We had a discussion about that. We just finished building the tallest building in St. Petersburg, Florida. We spent $400 million on it. And it's beautiful. And we're going to build a second tower. I said, right now we're on so many restrictions on building in New York City. You can only build 99 apartments in a building. I mean, give me a break, before you go into great bigger numbers. And we talked about my relationship with the Yankees and our stadium in Staten Island. We talked about Gristides, and I wanted to help. I said, the only thing I'm going to charge you to give you a consulting on the food business is, and there's nobody knows it better than I do. I've been in it for 54 years. Is charge me a cup of coffee, but he only gave me a cup of water. So he says to me, next time we meet, I'm going to upgrade you to a cup of coffee instead of a cup of water.
So let me ask you this: obviously you were a very vocal opponent of Mamdani during the campaign season, during the election last year.
We fired every bullet.
But you talked about closing or selling your stores and relocating, but you're still here, right?
I love New York.
But has he not been?
Bro, that's a good point, because a lot of business leaders said, oh yeah, they'd close up and leave New York if he were to get elected mayor. And what a shock. None of them did. That was all bullshit.
Yeah.
Turns out he's not so anti-business after all. He's not even a communist,
And
which you guys like to paint him as, or even as a typical socialist. He's not that. Go ahead, bro.
Patrick Bet-David was one of the people who constantly said that people will leave New York if he's elected.
Yeah. No. And it hasn't happened, including this guy who said he would leave, but that's not going to happen. But let's hear it. But now, again, it gets better.
Has he performed better as a mayor than you expected?
Right now, it's his decision. He has the ability to make so many good choices, I believe. Look, he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy. He has to realize that we're on either the edge of success or the edge of disaster. President Trump on affordable housing, he'll give an unlimited amount of money, but he has to be able to do the right thing for New York City.
All right, so let's talk about your meeting with Trump yesterday. What did you guys talk about in that meeting?
Oh, we talked about Greek Independence Day. We talked about, I haven't seen him in a few weeks, and it was good to be together. We spent some time in the green room just before we went into the event. He loves New York, and he wants to do anything. And you know what he said? He said to me, what did he say about me?
What did Mamdani say about him?
Yeah, that's what he was.
Right.
That was,
you hear that, bro? You hear that? Trump asked this guy, what is Zoran saying about him? Like, he's so infatuated with Zoran, because you know why? Other than the fact that he's charming and all that other stuff, that's the mayor of his hometown. And he always, before wanting to be president, he wanted to be mayor of New York, right? So Zoran has his dream job, in a way. So he wants a good relationship.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's asking people from New York, like this guy here, John, what's he saying about me? And it's like, wow, okay. Yeah, interesting.
I said, everything was very civilized.
Sorry, bro, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that Mamdani is very smart to like get along with all parties so he can get something done for the people of his city.
Yeah, and this guy, by the way, bro, he's not the mayor, but he's been around in New York City way longer than Zoran has. That's just a fact. So he's a billionaire businessman. He's a Republican, so obviously he didn't support him or vote for him. But look at that, he still respects him despite that. Even though you're not supposed to respect each other anymore, and actually talk to each other.
Yeah,
I like that. Like I'd meet with this guy as mayor and anybody else, because I have to. I mean, I'm a mayor for everybody, He said, yeah,
exactly.
I'll be. He's like, yeah, whether you voted for me or not, I am your mayor, and I want to help make your life better, and I'll work with anyone at any time to do that, even people that, have said horrible things about me, like this guy has, and he said horrible things and has lied and smeared him repeatedly. Now he respects him. What a shock, because of the position he's in. That's why. And people of this generation, bro, you don't get respect from them unless you're in a high up position. Keep that in mind too, especially from our generation. This guy's 33, 34 years old, and they just looked at him as some stupid kid who didn't know what he was doing. Now he's the mayor, and look at him now saying he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy. You see that?
And I did enjoy the discussion
he has a very, very heavy New York accent, and I fucking love it. That's another reason why.
Hey, listen. Hey, just like the other Republican who was running against Mamdani.
That's his boss.
That's a real New Yorker, bro.
That's his boss.
That
was his boss right here. When he was a radio show host. Yeah, Curtis Sliwa.
Curtis
This guy here, John
Curtis
Katsimakidis, he
Sliwa.
owns. Yeah, he owns not just those grocery stores, but he also owns that
He's a
radio
real
station,
New
that
York.
conservative.
He's a real New
Yeah, conservative
Sliwa
radio
is
station. Yeah, you're right.
Curtis Curtis Sliwa is
Bro,
a real New Yorker, bro.
he's so fucking funny. Like I'd never vote for him, but he's so fucking funny.
He's
I love
funny.
listening to him. Like I was
Yeah,
like I
he's
could listen
funny.
to this guy all the
He's
time, bro.
funny.
Oh my god. Oh
He's
man.
funny, yeah.
And I love the fact that he refused to drop out despite everybody who wanted Mamdani to lose so bad. They all like fucking literally threatened his life.
Because he said,
And
"Hey,
he
and
refused.
and he made sense, and he made sense because Republicans were literally telling him to drop out and let and let it just be between Mamdani and uh, Andrew Cuomo,
Yeah.
but he
That's not
said
how it
no.
works.
He said, and I quote, he said, and I quote, "I'm the only Republican in the race."
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I mean,
He was
on
the only
every
Republican.
well, on every ballot, bro, it's like, yeah, there's a Democratic nominee and a Republican nominee and independent and third party.
And an
Yeah.
independent. So he said, he said it doesn't make sense for him to drop out when he's the only Republican on the ballot. It doesn't make
Mm-hmm.
sense, and I respect that, and he has the
Yep.
right to
Yep.
remain,
Yeah.
because he was the only Republican.
Now Andrew Fredo Cuomo blames him for his loss. And it's like, bro, even if you got every single one of his votes, you still would have lost according to the math because Zoran got 51% of the
Yeah,
vote. So it's not like, oh, yeah. And that's why
yeah,
everybody was saying, oh, drop out so you could help out Cuomo. But look at that. The math said otherwise. So you guys just don't want to take personal
yeah,
responsibility for the fact that you got behind the worst candidate ever. And yeah, bro, honestly, part of another reason why Zoran won of all reasons is, yeah, he was in the right place at the right time. Okay. And yeah, he just happened to run
right
against
place at
two.
the right time.
Yeah, he just happened to run against two. Like, yeah, it did help with the fact that the people running against him were just so fucking bad that, of course, like it was obvious for months that Zoran
Bad,
was going to win. They were so unpopular and
because you
unknown
had,
and out of touch. It's like, who the hell are these guys? And Zoran just mopped the floor with them, especially with Cuomo, who kept coming at him over and over because he saw Zoran as a huge threat. And it's like, of course,
yeah,
he represents the future, and you guys represent the past. You guys are part of the past, and you're trying to fucking come back
exactly.
as if people miss you or people want you. Nobody wants you. Nobody. Okay? Nobody asked you to come
Nope,
back. Anyway,
nope.
let's continue listening to this guy here.
Badabi.
Right.
That was, and I said, everything was very civilized. And I did enjoy the discussion with Badabi. And it was very civilized. And look, I pray and hope for the best for New York because we love New York and we want New York to make a big comeback. You know what he liked about the thing we spent the most time on? When I ran for mayor in 2013, the World's Fair of 2015, we spent at least 10 minutes on that. And I was going to have in every borough, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, Brooklyn, Queens. And we were going to, along the coastline of all those boroughs, to create a World's Fair, 50 countries, 50 corporations, and get around to all those boroughs, with a ferry, and be able to not add traffic to our city.
So you think
And
you
by
pitched
the way,
this to
he loved
Mamdani.
the idea. I love the idea. I still love the idea.
What do you think about Mamdani's relationship with Trump? Because it seems like he has sort of charmed President Trump. Do you think that's going to help the city?
He's charmed me too. I mean, look.
Bro, did you hear that? Did you, bro? When I watched that and heard him say that earlier, I just burst out laughing like my ass off. It's like another example. Like he just confessed that, like, yeah, this guy, he's not what I thought. He's like, and he said it in his perfect New York accent. He's like, he's charmed me too. Let me hear that again. Let me hear that again.
President Trump. Do you think that's going to help the city?
He's charmed me too. I mean, look, I want him to do well. Look, he's going to be mayor for 3.5 more years, 4 years. I mean, and Trump loves the city. He does love this city, and he wants the right thing to happen by it. And look, it's up to him. Edge of disaster or the edge of success.
What do you think he should do to close the budget gap in the city?
I think if you deal if you deal with it smartly, take 3% off of every department. Guess what? The budget gap goes away, and he should realize it.
We're almost out of time, but I just want to get you on a couple other things. Just quickly, you are a friend of Bruce Blakeman, the Republican candidate for governor, and you also.
So yeah, he has the respect of even Republican billionaire businessmen who he's gonna tax higher. And see, bro, only someone like him could accomplish that because he finds a way to make every single one of his, policy proposals connect with anyone. So whatever he proposes economically, he thinks could help him too, but it's not going to hurt his, the people of New York. This guy here, John Katsimatidis, yeah, it's important for the mayor to have a good relationship with the business community. Again, regardless of disagreements. So your thoughts, bro?
Absolutely.
Again, he's charmed me too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, I am a strong believer of, you know, like reaching out to people who have different views and different opinions, and people who are, you know, belong to, different political parties, because at the end of the day, you have to work with. It's just like in Congress, in U.S. Congress, like the situation is ridiculous because you have the both parties are fighting each other so hard, but at least on the national level, because on foreign policies we know that they're always voting on the same foreign policies, right? But when it comes to um, national issues, they're so divided that they're always fighting each other and not willing to work together for the benefit of the American people. So when I see someone like Mamdani who's just willing to, talk to people, Republicans, the president of the United States, who happens to be a Republican, and just willing to work with people, that shows that he's genuinely trying to do something for the people of New York City who elected him. He's not there to play politics.
Yeah.
He's not there to
So
build a political career. No, he wants to change the lives of the people of New York City.
yes. So, bro, then that brings me to this. I know we've gone back and forth about this, like on X, people going after him for his stance on Palestine, even though he has no record of ever supporting Israel or speaking up for Israel or anything like that. And yet
I'm
people are
so mad
just
about that, bro.
bro, okay, and it drives me insane, and it just goes back to what I always talk about how I just can't stand the pro-Pally community in the US anymore. It's like they completely lost their minds. It's all about their egos. It's all about their insane
Yeah.
beliefs. It's just like I don't even find like
It's
comic
just
book.
like
I don't feel
that
like I can
guy.
relate to them anymore, and it breaks my heart, honestly, as a Palestinian.
It's just like that guy. It's just like you saw that video, the guy who approached
Yeah.
Mamdani and was yelling at him. Like, you are literally yelling at the only person, the only one of the only mayors in New York City who publicly criticized Israel, supported
The only mayor,
the people
period,
of
bro.
Gaza,
Period.
and
No mayor has ever
yeah,
stood with
no,
BDS and supported Palestine specifically. BDS, bro.
Yeah.
He supports
But
BDS.
but you want to attack him because he was asked a question. Do you believe that Israel has the right to exist? And he said yes, but also the Palestinian people, Palestine has
No,
the right to exist. But
that's
let's
not
be
even what he
honest.
said,
You
bro. That's not even it. He said, and I quote, he said,
mm,
no, the state has a right to exist as a state for equal rights, which means he supports free
equal
Palestine from the
rights.
river to the sea, which, of course, people are just like, no, he still said Israel has a right to exist. He's running for fucking mayor of New York. He needs Jewish votes, whether you admit it
Exactly.
or not. So he kind of has to appease
That's
both sides in the election. So it doesn't really matter what he says in the election. What matters is what he
hey,
does.
and
So
let me
what
tell you,
he's done is actually for Palestine based off his actions, starting a fucking SJP
hey,
chapter in college, and his wife getting attacked for liking an Instagram post celebrating 10/7, stuff like that. And he's
and
pro-Israel now.
even
All
listen,
of a
if I
sudden.
was running, if I was running, I would have probably said the exact same thing that
Yes, in
Mamdani
New
said.
York. In New York,
I
bro.
would have
Because remember,
in
it's the
New
most
York.
Jewish and the most Zionistic city in the country. You need Jewish votes. And yeah, you got to think like a politician.
And even and technically what he said is literally the only option now in Palestine, that this Zionist state
Yeah.
can like is not a solution to the issue. The
Rem-
issue, in order, if we really want a lasting peace, it's got to be one
yeah.
equal, like there is
Yeah.
no two-state solution. Two-state
Yeah.
solution is not working
A two
anymore.
two two state
It's
delusion.
one state,
Delusion.
a two-state delusion. It's
Yeah.
one state with equal rights without the Zionist ideology. So
I
this is the
mean,
only solution. So technically, Mamdani gave them the right answer, but people choose to attack. I wish I was there, bro. Man, I was like, bro. But
bro, okay.
Mamdani is so
Bro,
polite. He's
okay.
so
So
polite. Mamdani is
so
so polite.
yeah. Yeah. So for those who are watching that aren't aware of what we're talking about. Yeah, we're talking about some videos we've seen of people confronting Zoran Mamdani, accusing him of basically being a Zionist. And it drives people like Zein and I crazy because it's like, if you really support the Palestinian cause, you wouldn't alienate your fellow, cause members. You would go after the Zios together, which he has done. And he has like, I've never seen a candidate get so attacked for being Muslim or for being pro Palestinian in my life like this guy has. And he still won anyway. That's never happened before. And he's not like one of those two-state solution people. Oh, Israel has a right to exist and Israel has a right to defend itself. He has never said that. Never. And for people to accuse him of that without any evidence, they're just like, oh, my friend told me. Or, oh, I saw the clip. But they don't think, bro. They don't think like, guys, this is politics. And I know it's hard for some people like that to understand politics. But guess what, guys? And here's the reality. He is not some activist online anymore. Okay? He's the fucking mayor of the biggest city in America. He cannot
Yeah.
play to only one group anymore. He has to play to all
Nope.
groups.
Nope. Nope.
You have to
Yep.
fucking, I mean, like, I'm not saying
Absolutely.
fucking, no. Like, I want to be clear, bro. I'm not saying be a Zionist or like help, like support Zionists or anything like that. And he hasn't, and he's still not doing it. But to accuse him of that, like basically fucking, like people just have these purity tests for so many that frankly, they wouldn't pass themselves. And it drives me insane. And the people who do it are the ones I talked about earlier who have, frankly, they have no shame, no remorse, and shameless narcissists and all that stuff, and likes to start drama with people. And they think they have the right to say, oh, who's really pro-Palestine and who's not. No, you don't, because I've seen your true colors now. And for you to go after anyone, especially Zoran Mamdani, of all people, who has, frankly, done more for
Doesn't make
Palestine
sense.
than before any of you. Because, bro, he's been pro-Palestine for 15 years now, by the way. He has a
Many
record
years.
of
Yeah.
fighting for Palestine before he was ever in
Yeah.
politics, in college even.
Let me tell you this.
So
Let me
what
tell
else
you
do you
this. Let
want?
me tell you
It's like, what
this.
else do these
Even
people want? You know?
let me tell you this. And you have even some people um who were born in America who has who have families in Palestine and they didn't really know anything about Palestine until recently
Yeah.
because they were not just like,
Yeah.
you have those people. You have people who have families in Palestine, but they were so disconnected from what's happening there. You
Yeah.
know, Uh, listen, I've talked to people who are Palestinians, but obviously born in the USA, who always believed the propaganda that was shown in the mainstream media for a long time, and they only discovered the reality recently.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
Mamdani has been really connected to Palestine and knowing what's
Hmm.
happening there even before some people who have families there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to
In
attack the
fact, his
man
first job, and I read,
and
and
say,
if people actually
it's
did their homework, they'd know, like, okay, his first ever job in politics, bro, was being a campaign manager for a Palestinian pastor running for office. So again, I ask, what else do they want? And kind of going back on what I was saying earlier about, politics and timing. He could say Palestine has a right to exist or free Palestine, but not until after he gets elected. When he's still running, especially in a city like New York, you can't say that. Period. That's just the reality. And a lot of people don't understand that. What do you think?
yeah,
Go ahead.
absolutely, absolutely. When you are running, like, first of all, when you're a politician, you are not the same as an activist, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you should lie or be
No,
dishonest. No,
he
you
never
gotta,
did. He
first of
never did.
all, you gotta be honest. You gotta be, exactly, you gotta be honest. You gotta be genuine. You gotta really keep your principles and values just the way you were before running for office. But, however, when you're a politician and running in a city, then you have to pay attention to all the communities of this city,
Mm-hmm.
right? Every
Mm-hmm.
community.
That's
It's
right.
not. It's just like me. It's just like me as a Muslim, right? Running for, let's say, governor of whatever,
Oh,
like
you,
let's say
bro, as a
Ohio,
Muslim, wait,
and
you're
then
running for governor of
and
Texas.
then
You gotta
and
fucking be. You gotta really get
and then
inside the Texas's mind in order to be able to win,
and
especially as a
listen
Muslim. So
and
yeah,
listen and listen. So Texas, for example, and I'm running for the governor of Texas, and they'll be like, "Hey, I'm only here for the Muslim." No, that doesn't work. It doesn't work like this. I
yeah,
am If I'm running for governor of Texas, I am dealing with a state that has multiple communities, even people who don't believe in God. So you have to represent all these people. You have to leave your beliefs on the side and work for the people. So you got to appeal to every community. You cannot just be pro one community, you know what I'm saying,
yeah,
and just
yeah.
ignore the other communities.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is,
that's why, bro.
you know what
That's
I'm
why
saying?
he
So
didn't just
I'm
focus
just
on
being
Palestine during the campaign. And you're right. That's why he didn't just focus on Palestine. He focused on all communities, everybody from all walks of life, every New Yorker who's struggling with affordability, and yeah, especially Palestinian New Yorkers. And yes, he's the first ever bro. He's the first ever politician to mention Palestinians in his inauguration speech. He's the first one to ever do that.
yeah,
You remember that? He mentioned Palestinian New Yorkers, and the whole crowd
exactly.
just went wild. It was like, see, this is America.
Yeah.
This is the world today, and I love it. And this is why I'm like, guys, remember, this win is a Palestine win. Okay, of all these wins that happen, like whether it's at the Oscars or whether it's a fucking, because you remember I'm sure you were aware of like the voice of Hidden
It's
Vision being
it's
nominated
a
for an Oscar. So
it's
just
it's
in
a, po-
all
a,
in
po-
all aspects
it's
of society, we see wins for Palestine, and you got to take those wins and not dismiss them. Okay, that's my point.
Yeah, and a Palestine win is technically a justice win. It's
Yeah.
a win for humanity, right?
Hmm.
It's a win for it's a win for any people or any marginalized community in the world, because this is like the biggest community facing injustice in the world. So
Yeah.
once they get justice, every other community will probably get justice too.
Yep. Yep. So yes, that's why again, bro, and I can't say this enough. Yes, I want it. Therefore, like, I want to see more and more like this. And I feel like this is gonna keep happening. And I didn't think it was possible. Like, especially fucking this year in the midterms, bro. This November. If fucking last November, so fucking 4 months ago was it? If you thought that was good, wait till we see November. How do you think that's gonna turn out? Especially, hey, your state of Texas, you got fucking James Tallarico, who's very like famous now worldwide, and he's likely to be
Yeah.
the next. He's likely to be the next senator from Texas, and it's because, like you said, kind of like Zoran, he managed to appeal to everyone and speak to everybody and acknowledge that, oh, okay, yeah, I'm from this community, but wait, I'm running to represent all communities. And if I'm not mistaken, bro, he hasn't taken money from the pro-Israel lobby, has he? He has not.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think
And in
so.
fact, he's very anti billionaires.
And he's talked about genocide in Gaza, hasn't he? He said
I'm
that.
not sure about that one.
That one I think I said. Okay, I'll have
I
to double check.
haven't
But
really
anyway, so
uh, yeah, yeah. I haven't really heard a lot of what he said, but mostly I've heard him really criticizing the billionaires a lot and the Epstein class.
yep, for sure, bro.
Hey, have you seen, by the way, talking about Epstein, have you seen the Ali Larijani, the Iranian uh leader who got killed? The one
What's his name?
who was Ali Larijani.
Who is that?
Hold on, let me show you. His name is Ali Larijani.
I'll have to find him. Yeah,
Larijani was military. He served as secretary of the Supreme National Security Council.
yeah. Oh, really?
So yeah, so this man was
Oh,
one of the most important people in the regime until his assassination. But let me tell you the one tweet that he posted 2 days before he was assassinated. Okay, this is his tweet.
show it to me, bro.
This is his tweet.
The hell, Jesus. I want to show this real quick. Bernie Sanders was at a No Kings rally and talked about the genocide in Gaza, which took him 2 years to officially acknowledge.
But yeah, yeah. So I have a different opinion about Bernie. I, I,
We have got to make
so
sure that Congress does not send another $200 billion to fight this war. Trump's supplemental appropriation for the war in Iran must be defeated. Secondly, I will be forcing a vote in the Senate on legislation to block the sale of nearly $1 billion in weapons to the Israeli military for bombs and bulldozers. A nation, a government that has committed genocide in Gaza does not need more military support from American taxpayers. First,
Now he's what I call those liberal Zionists who is like, oh yeah, there's no problem with Israel Zift. The only issue is the government. If there was a left-wing government, then everything would be okay. Not really. It's not like that. That's why many people like Piers Morgan and even Cenk Uygur talk as if, yeah, like there could be easily be two states that could live side by side when technically that hasn't worked.
Yeah, I mean,
You know? Go ahead,
I mean,
bro.
my view about Bernie, honestly, I'd appreciate at least that he's saying this is a genocide, that he's been attacking, uh, what the Netanyahu and his government are doing, and him as a Jewish person, the only, one of the like,
Yeah.
and he's a Jewish senator, and he's been. So I wouldn't be too harsh. I wouldn't
Okay.
be like
Fair enough.
too hard on Bernie. But let me tell you, but I see your point. Like I get your point. I get your point. But this is just like how I'm seeing people like Bernie. So Ali Larijani, 2 days he got murdered March 17th. March 15th, 2 days before he got killed by the Israelis, he's posted this tweet, and I quote, I've heard that the remaining members of the Epstein's network, he was calling them the Epstein network. I've heard that the remaining members of the Epstein's network devised a conspiracy to create an incident similar to 9/11 and blame Iran for it. Iran
Yep.
fundamentally opposes Iran fundamentally opposes such terrorist schemes and has no war with the American people.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
It probably got them extremely mad because he was calling them the Epstein network.
Maybe.
He's so funny, bro. He was calling them. Have you been watching these videos? Iran has been trolling Donald Trump so bad.
Of course.
They've been making a lot of AI videos, and they've been mentioning the
Like
Epstein
this one?
Island in those videos.
This AI video?
That's Iran.
Yeah, Mohammed bin Salman kissing Trump's ass. Literally.
But they made no the videos. They made a video about the Epstein Island.
Oh my God, these people are something else.
But Donald Trump, but okay, but to be honest, Donald Trump is not happy with MBS because he still refuses to normalize relationships with Israel.
Oh, bro, these people are driving me insane. Oh my God, when can't they just go away? And by the way, Stephen A. Smith, somebody I had some respect for at one point, is just a fucking piece of shit because he spends too much time
Don't
with
get
Chris,
excited about these
because
people.
because Chris Fredo Cuomo and Bill O'Reilly fucking ruined this guy. And it's like he
bro,
is so naive and
bro.
so
This guy, ha-
stupid. He just believes whatever people tell him. He's a perfect example of the kind of Americans that fucking they shouldn't be allowed to vote because they're not informed enough.
I remember,
And I don't know. For
I
some reason, I
remember
thought he
last
was.
year.
Yeah.
I, I remember last year when we were talking about him, when you were
Yeah.
super excited about him last
Yeah.
year. But listen, this guy just had an interview with Sean Henry.
I know. Well, he was also, bro, he's all over X right now because he was on Bill Maher talking shit about my boy, Zoran Mamdani. Take a listen.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard him talking about Mamdani.
New York City. No disrespect, but do we really, really think that Zoran Mamdani was the most qualified candidate to be mayor of New York City? Come on now, we know better. I'm wishing
Yes.
him luck.
Listen to those idiots clapping. Again, it's not just what they say, it's also the
Yeah.
people agreeing with them that I can't stand. Fuck all of them, okay?
I'm wishing I'm not being disrespectful. He's smart.
Look at this bitch right here who got exposed by Crystal Ball on
Wha-
Breaking Point for her Zionistic record, okay? She's the senator from Michigan, and somehow she's she's Jewish, but she's also a big Zionist, tries to play both sides with the issue of Palestine. Go ahead, bro. And of course, she goes on Bill Maher, and
Yeah.
she challenged on something because he's a big Israel stooge. Go ahead.
Like people like Stephen A. Smith, these are, I wouldn't take him seriously. This guy has no knowledge about politics, and he's a sports guy. And recently, just like last year, he started really talking about politics. He doesn't have no clue about what's happening in the Middle East, right?
Yeah.
Geopolitics. And talking about Mamdani, who is he to say that Mamdani is not the most qualified person out of all the people who are running for New York City? Show me one person, like, show me one person who is more qualified. Just like in
Bro,
campaigning, he sounded most um, intellectually, um, smarter than all of them. Like he was so clear in explaining the real issues, what people are facing. This is how he convinced people. He didn't convince people because he has a nice smile, because he has a good
that's
social
part of
media
it.
team. No, he convinced people. He can, he is part of it, but
The
he
thing
knew
about somebody
the
like Stephen A.
issues that
Smith,
people are
bro,
facing.
yeah. Sorry to cut you off, but the thing about with someone like Stephen A. Smith, who has profited and has been okay with the status quo for so many years, can't stand to see people just come up with new ideas and just want to break the rules a little bit. He's okay with Trump doing it, but he's not okay with Zoran doing it. It's just the hypocrisy is insane. And yeah, for the idea of him judging someone's qualifications when he has never had a single day in politics and he's thinking about running for president, you're qualified to be president, but Zoran's not qualified to be mayor? Really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
insane.
bro.
Again, the
Stick with
hypocrisy is
football.
insane. Just stick with ESPN, which many people don't like you for anyway. But yeah,
Yeah. How long do you got, bro? Like when you get the show?
I mean, I'm cool, but as long as you got. Wait, when do you got to go?
I mean, this is like 1:30 my time now, and it's getting a
Yeah,
little
what
bit
time is
late.
it? Oh, 1:30 your time? Okay. Yeah, we'll finish this clip and then we
Yeah.
could call it a night. I mean, there's more I'd love to show you, but yeah, we'll
Okay.
continue this more. But we were on for quite a while. And how
We
about
can
maybe
we can do
tomorrow or
next time.
Monday?
We can talk more
Yeah, tomorrow or Monday. How's
Monday.
that
Yeah,
sound?
maybe Monday. Yeah.
Monday's good?
Okay. Can talk
All
about
right.
that. We can talk about that.
Talk about what?
Yeah, Monday. Monday works.
Okay, Monday around 8 or 9. That's what I used to do all the time, and I want to do it again. And I
Yeah,
want to be
yeah.
consistent with it, and I want to post my and like we're still live on YouTube, by the way, bro. And I just hope and pray that it doesn't
Oh,
get
we're
taken
live
down.
on YouTube. Okay.
We're live on YouTube. We're live on X. We are live on Twitch too as well. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Let's finish this shit. Here we go.
He's sharp. He's quick on his feet. I'm not disrespecting him in any way. But he had never done anything. You got a governor, a former governor, who was a 3-term governor, coasting to his fourth before the scandal hit. You boot him out of office. He's qualified to get your support for 3 terms, en route to 4, to run the state. But you don't want to run in the city. And you're going to hand the reins to a 33-year-old who's
well, he's also a communist.
Okay.
I mean,
No, he's not, Bill. No, he's fucking not. Okay? I'm sick and tired of people like
Give
you
me the
smearing
definition.
him.
Give me the.
I fucking hate you.
Give
I've
me the
always hated
definition.
you.
If I
30
was,
fucking years.
if I was there, I'd be like, okay, Bill, I have a question. Please, I'm very uneducated. Can you please help me understand this? I just need the definition of a communist, a definition of a socialist, and a definition of a democratic socialist. These people, they only
They don't know shit,
mention
bro.
these
They're so ignorant.
terms, but they don't
They don't know
even
shit.
they don't even know the definition. They don't even
Not
know
at
the
all.
definition.
Not at all. It's like he sounds like Trump, like, oh, he's a communist. Let's just be, bro. You're just more. He's become more and more like Trump every year. Okay, the guy
he
he
does
is
not, and he does not know the definition of the communist. And by the way, Trump attacked him not too long ago on Truth Social. Did you see that post?
Yep, he saw it too, Bill. Bill,
When he said that, wait, hey, when he said that Bill Maher um sent someone to ask Trump to invite him to the White House. He wanted
Kid Rock.
to
It
come
was
to
Kid
the
Rock,
White
bro.
House and see Trump. Okay, yeah, Kid Rock. And then Trump invited him to the White House and said, we had a great meeting, and he was so like nervous to come to the White House, but we had a great meeting. But then Trump said, I regretted even invited him to the White House because he went back to his show, and spreading fake news.
Yeah, I know, bro. It's like, okay. Oh, my bad. Okay. Bill Maher, after many years of shitting on Trump, went to go meet him in person with Kid Rock's help, and he said it went well, and Trump seemed nice and all that, and then he went right back to talking shit and went right back to being enemies. It's like, what was the point of even meeting then? And plus, Bill Maher's become more and more like
Yeah.
Trump every year. He has been for like 30 years. He's never been liked, or well known. He's remember Wanda Sykes roasted his bitch ass at the Golden Globes, who says, Bill Maher, I wish you could say less, a lot less. And he was like, he gave a dirty look. It was pretty funny. Let's keep going.
I'm not saying that as a slur.
All right.
I'm saying that's his political view. It's a view you're allowed to have in this country, and people are allowed to vote for.
So you have people that don't
it's not
mind
a
that, and
communist-
they want that in this country. And unfortunately, if you're a Chuck Schumer or some of the old guards, you're at the mercy of all of that, still trying to stay in office, knowing that you got voters out there that would support that ahead of you.
That's right. Stephen A. is right about that. Yep. They're not communist socialists, but yeah, Chuck Schumer's got to go, and someone like Zoran needs to replace him. Yeah, pretty soon the people like pro-Palestinian, true, action-taking progressives are going to take over the Dem Party, if they let them.
Absolutely.
And people like Stephen A. and Bill Maher can't stand it. In fact, oh my God, how are we going to make money? How are we going to do? Fuck you guys. Fuck both of you. All right? I have to apologize to my audience for ever propping up Stephen A. Smith. He's a moron. My bad, guys. Yeah, I don't think he's going to run anymore because he doesn't. He said it himself. He doesn't want to lose his money. He said he'd have to give up a lot of money in order to run for office. And then everyone's like, actually, no, you don't. Look at Trump. He's made more money since being president. In fact, being president is one of the best ways to make money nowadays. Let's see. The irony, of course, is that Stephen A. Smith has literally no background whatsoever in politics or policy, and literally is talking about running for president and seems intent on broadcasting 5 opinions on every issue. Someone says Stephen A. Smith is a fucking moron. Someone said Bill Maher is a fucking faggot. Oh, my bad, guys. Okay.
You're
see.
just repeating what these people are saying.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not approving what they're saying,
No,
but people
no.
are.
Let's see. LMAO.
Yeah.
Bill Maher says it's impossible for the Democrats to lose the midterms. Just listen to Stephen A. Smith's immediate response. Smith says the Democrats can't not win. The Democrats, they're inventing ways to lose. Okay. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
MTG tweets, Israel has killed hundreds of journalists who have tried to expose the atrocities committed by IDF soldiers. Oh, man. She's right. Okay. Now, I've had enough of this shit. Okay. So, bro, I got to show you this. So, did you see Cenk Uygur on Piers Morgan?
Which one? I've seen many. Like
The latest one. Right here.
He's always there. No.
Always.
Hanging in there, brother.
I'm worried about you because last week, or whenever the last time you were on, we had a very civilized debate, and then the last 5 minutes you completely exploded in a way that even by your standards, let's just remind viewers of what happened, because I was taken aback by it, hence why I wanted to get you on one-on-one to discuss things in a slightly calmer manner. Let's take a look.
The Israeli Adelsons gave Jonathan Pollard a trip on their private jet back to Israel and celebrated him like a hero because they love people betraying America for Israel.
But you don't think I can prove
it. So tell me if we should put American troops or Israeli troops in.
I can't get enough of Cenk yelling like that. This is the loudest I've ever heard him yell, and I loved it.
Okay, why are we putting our guys in? Ben Ferguson, that traitor, said that it was no big deal that 13 Americans died. It's a huge deal.
Never said that.
13 Americans died. Why do you send your goddamn Israeli friends into a war?
Take the
They started it. They started it.
Now, Cenk, as you know, I like it. When I come to LA, we meet up, we have great bagels together, we chew the fat. I'm a big admirer of you, what you do, the Young Turks, all of it. I love you're probably one of my biggest repeat guests I ever have on Uncensored.
That's true.
But even I was worried about you. Looked like every blood vessel
always
was
there.
Erupt and your spleen was going to collapse in front of me live on Uncensored. I don't want your body uncensored on my screen. Why were you so angry? And do you think it actually is constructive to get that angry when we're trying to debate these things?
Listen to what he says carefully.
Yes, I do. I don't apologize for it at all. I love that I yelled at Ben Ferguson. He had it coming. Your viewers loved it. Everybody in America loved it. And I'll do it again. No, my health is perfectly fine. So if I die for any reason, you should ask around. It is not my heart. My heart's perfectly healthy. And in my real life, I'm very optimistic, very hopeful guy. We literally have a segment called Operation Hope on the Young Turks.
You're very calm. You're a calm guy.
About this?
When I meet you, you're a calm guy. Yeah, you're just a chilled out dude.
That's right.
But you seem to work yourself into this rage, and I have to say, it is always what I would say. Look, I would say this. You said to me you would like to come on and have a one-on-one, a proper discussion between us about all this. I would say, as a dispassionate observer, that the rage is invariably fueled by Israel. So what is it about Israel in particular that makes you so enraged? Be honest.
Yeah, 100%. Believe me, I'm going to be honest. I don't have a problem with that. So first of all, just real quick on your program and on any program, the only time that I raise my volume is when people interrupt me. And Israel First has a strategy of interrupting everyone else who talks because they want to monopolize the time. They want to monopolize the propaganda. So I don't let them talk over me, and I never will. So they'll always fail at that, and I don't care how loud I have to get. And I'm being loud on behalf of the American people. All right, now to the core of the issue. Why does Israel enrage me so much? So there's several issues. First of all, I remember growing up thinking, I wonder what I would do if I was growing up in the 1930s and 40s. Would I have tried as hard as I possibly can to fight the Holocaust? And I always thought, I wish I knew, and I would hope that I did, right? Well, unfortunately, we got an opportunity here because there was a genocide in our lifetime. And so I'm fighting as hard as I possibly can to save as many lives as I can. And Israel's not finished. Israel's still bombing Gaza. They're still trying to annex West Bank. There is out of control terrorism in the West Bank by the settlers. And they just invaded Lebanon, and they just caused a war with Iran. I mean, if you can't get upset about that, you're not upset about fascism, you're not upset about over-the-top terrorism, I think everybody should be as angry as me. But those are part of the issue. The other part, Piers, that is so important is that Israel is obviously controlling our politicians and our media here. And the media's gaslighting is unbearable. Propaganda after propaganda for Israel and always on behalf of Israel. Like, for example, they asked this silly question, does Israel have a right to exist? It's not asked of any other country. Does Turkey have a right to exist? Does Greece have a right to exist?
That's
Well,
right.
of course they do. They already exist. But they never ask the question of the country that actually doesn't exist, which is Palestine. Does Palestine have a right to exist? That is the pertinent question. It is asked by approximately 0 times by cable news anchors in America. None, never. And that is a super weird phenomenon where you keep asking if a country should exist that already does and has Iron Dome and nuclear weapons and the biggest military in the Middle East, but you won't ask the obvious question of shouldn't the Palestinians be allowed to exist? And it's obvious that Israel is not allowing them. Why do we have this overwhelming propaganda? Those are very legitimate questions, and those are things that are enraging a lot of Americans, and I'm just speaking on their behalf.
Okay, so as you know, a lot of people have tried to frame your very regular attacks on Israel as anti-Semitic, a charge that you have always strenuously denied. And for what it's worth, I have never detected when you come on my show that what you're saying is driven by a hatred of Jewish people. I think it's driven by a hatred, I think it is a hatred, of the way the Israeli government conducts itself. And we can come to that in more detail in a minute. But I want to play you a clip, which is what one anti-Semitism campaign group called Canary Mission have highlighted. They say that you flopped from calling out anti-Semitic tropes as stereotypes to now perpetuating every one of them against Israel. Let's take a look.
Oh, who do you think is really the...
Canary Mission is one of the worst Zionist organizations that attack pro-Palestinians all the time. And yeah, Canary Mission hates people like Anna and Cenk for what they say, and they should, because they echo all of us too.
one responsible? They always say the Jews because they think, oh, they're the puppet masters. There's anti-Semitic tropes, etc. Right?
And it's obvious that they control us. And now Trump is out here like a puppet. Yes, I said puppet, and you could suck it.
Puppets for Israel.
Puppet regimes, Israeli puppet. Yo, you guys like your money. I mean, you can't get any more anti-Semitic than this.
Okay.
Owe me more money. You owe me more money. Give me money. Give me 310 billion isn't enough.
The Jews own the media, right? So that's the anti-Semitic trope. This is a control of our media by Israeli forces. The root of all of these theories is always the Jews control the world.
Now, Cenk, when you watch that, there does seem to be shifting sands between what you're saying originally and what you then say.
Absolutely not. First of all, of course, Canary Mission, I'm really glad you brought them up. So there are these Israel First thugs in this country. And if you've never experienced it, actually now you have. Yeah. Before, when you were for Israel, you never experienced it. Now, once you slightly criticize Israel, you begin to experience it. But what you don't know is that when I go to Muslim American events, they say, we're so happy that you speak out, because if we speak out, we get fired from just regular jobs, or our businesses get attacked by things like Canary Mission, StopAntisemitism.com. They're not actually trying to stop anti-Semitism. They're trying to stop any criticism of Israel. And so that goes to the heart of that clip as well, which is, we're not conflating Israel and Jews. In fact, on the Young Turks, I've literally said hundreds, maybe thousands of times, guys, this is not about religion. Do not attack Jewish Americans or Jews at all. This is about a country, and every country does, and governments do terrible things. The people who actually conflate Israel and Jews are actually people like Canary Mission and all these Israel First groups. And what they're doing is they're hiding behind Jewish civilians. And they're saying, if you criticize Israel at all, that means you hate all Jews. But wait a minute. If we played that game with every country, then we couldn't criticize any country. Oh, if you criticize the Chinese government, you hate all Chinese people. Well, that's absurd. Of course, that's not true. If you criticize the Turkish government, you hate all Turkish people. You're anti-Turkish. Well, of course, that's not true. So it's not that anybody's picking on Israel, and certainly not on Jewish Americans. It's that we're saying, can we apply the same standard to Israel? And when we say that, they go, oh, no, you're not allowed to apply that same standard to Israel because you're all anti-Semites. And as Brad Schneider, a congressman, Democrat, did today to my nephew, Hassan Piker, he said, and this is a very common.
I know Brad Schneider, that piece of shit. I actually volunteered for his campaign. And when I found out about his stance on Palestine, this was like 9 years ago. Son of a bitch. He's still out there.
Oh.
I don't know why he's still out there. And yeah, apparently, of course he would attack Cenk and his nephew for his stance on Palestine, calling him an anti-Semite and all that. Hey, Brad, if you're watching, first of all, get the fuck out of Congress. That's number one. Number two, you know, the world's not the same anymore. Nobody believes you anymore. You murder children. And I'm like, bro, these people are not as scary or as intimidating as we think they are. It's so easy to go up to them and just ask them about this stuff and humiliate them because they don't know anything. They just go along with whatever their donors tell them to. And it's annoying. And we see it now more than ever.
Trick that Israel First does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Hassan said things he claims that are anti-Semitic.
Did you want to say something, bro? I'm sorry, man. My bad. I forgot to ask you if you wanted to say something.
No. No.
That's not at all true, but he says it. He says that's why Abdul El-Said, a Democrat running for office in Michigan, is not allowed to campaign with him, is not allowed to support him. Why do they do that? Isolate Israel's critics and try to pretend that they're toxic and eliminate them from the national conversation so that no one can criticize Israel. This is a game that they've done to average Americans, to people in the media even more vehemently, and to people in politics, so that you eliminate all of Israel's enemies and critics and opponents. And then where is the moral outrage? The moral outrage should be towards this genocide in Gaza, where 72,000 people at a bare minimum have been killed. Over 20,000 children at a bare minimum have been killed. But we're not talking about the slaughter of 20,000 children. Instead, we're talking about, should we condemn the people criticizing the genocide? Should we condemn the people criticizing Israel starting 7 wars, dragging us into a war? No, all of this is a defense of not Jewish people, but of Israel. And the reality is, both me and, by the way, wonderful Jewish Americans like Dave Smith, Glenn Greenwald, Ben Cohen, Jeff Cohen, Robert Greenwald, I can go on and on for hours. So many young Jewish Americans are actually doing something wonderful, which is they're fighting for peace, they're being principled, and they're on the right side, and they're standing up for America, and they're us. So I say that all the time, but they actually think that the bigger problem is people like us who are not anti-Semitic.
Okay, guys, Zein just dropped. I don't know what the hell happened, but he'll be back in a second. But let's keep going with this.
Because it's easy to say, oh, Nick Fuentes, no one should talk to him because he's clearly anti-Semitic and all the other charges, right? The problem for them is when they can't show that we're anti-Semitic. So then they take our criticism of Israel and they set up all these landmines, propaganda landmines with tropes. So here, I'll give you an example. So blood libel. Now, blood libel is a terrible anti-Semitic trope from the 18th and 19th century, made up about Jewish people drinking the blood of babies. That's crazy talk, right? But when we criticize Israel actually killing 20,000 children, they say, oh, that's blood libel. But wait a minute, that doesn't have anything to do with blood libel. Nobody's talking about drinking the blood of babies or anything like that. Oh, you're using it in a very callous and disgusting and immoral way to shield the government of Israel from criticism and thereby endangering Jewish people, because when you actually go to criticize Israel, they go, no, all Jews stand for genocide. That's not true. That's actually a more anti-Semitic statement. So all of this is propaganda in order to protect Israel.
Okay, let me play it. This is a clip from what Douglas Murray has been one of your biggest critics, what he said on this show, actually, back in December 2023 about you.
You only really get out.
Fuck Douglas Murray. Oh my God. I haven't seen that guy on there in so long. Son of a bitch. Fucking little. Hey, Douglas, if you're watching, come on my show, you little shit, and try to lecture me about my own home country. Come on. Yeah, you son of a bitch.
Animated if the Jews are involved. And I can tell that for the following reason. I mean, your surname's Uyghur, isn't it? 1 million Uyghur Muslims in China have been put in concentration camps in the last decade. And people of your ilk never really care about that, do you? Because it's not the Jews.
People of your ilk, Douglas, fuck you. Fuck you. You are a little bitch with a little smirk that should be slapped. Frankly,
who's doing it? It's the Chinese Communist Party. At the moment, 1 million people who are in Pakistan at the moment, who are your fellow Muslims and who happen to be Afghan, and I don't think you care about them, do you? 1 million Afghans are currently being forcibly deported from Pakistan to Afghanistan. You don't care about that. You're not riled up about that. You're not riled up about what the Janjaweed are currently doing in Sudan, where thousands and thousands of people are being attacked by the Islamist militia there. You don't care about any of that. You get exercised and you rile up what little base you have of malcontents because you're riled up when the Jews do anything.
So that is what people think. They think, we watch Cenk a lot, but the thing that really gets him raging.
No, it's not what people think, Pierce. You're an idiot too, of course, as always. That's not new. You and him are one and the same. Douglas Murray. Fuck him and fuck you too. That's why you need people like Cenk on there to set you guys straight, because you spew a lot of nonsense that you know is nonsense, but you have to spew it anyway, otherwise you don't get a paycheck. Period.
Is always Israel. Ultimately, it always comes back to one thing. And the point they make about the anti-Semitic tropes is simply that, as that mashup showed earlier, you used to be one of the people who would be very quick to point out the problem of people falling into the trap of reciting anti-Semitic tropes, blaming the Jews for controlling the media, controlling politicians, and so on and so on. And now you seem to have moved to a place where you're openly doing that yourself with conviction, because you presumably believe it to be true.
I'm not.
But I'm not saying I think that. I'm just saying that's what your critics think. But in relation to what Douglas said there, there is a clear pattern. You blow up about Israel. You don't seem to have the same angry fury and rage.
Yeah, because nobody does what Israel does, Pierce. That's the point. That's what you fail to understand, no matter how many times people like Cenk have to scream so you could actually hear and understand it. It's over. All right?
About much else other than Israel. Why is it such a particular thing for you?
Yeah, so I'm glad we're addressing this, because when you say a lot of people think that it's that I'm blowing up about Israel because it's related to Jewish people, that's actually not true at all. Only Israel First thinks that. The rest of the country doesn't think that at all. The rest of the country is perfectly rational and understands that we can criticize the Israeli government like we criticize any other government. So now, but why do I get so mad about Israel as opposed to the other governments? First of all, that's what Douglas Murray said about me not being exercised about those other things are not at all true. He hasn't watched the Young Turks at all. So, for example, my last name is Uyghur. The Uyghur people in China are being terribly abused. And I do talk about it on the show. In fact, I had the representatives of the Uyghur government in exile on the show to talk about it. They've got them in concentration camps, and I can't stand it. But why do I spend more time railing against Israel than the Chinese, for example, against the Uyghurs? Well, there's a very good reason for that. Because we're not funding the Chinese. We're funding the Israelis. I could yell at the Chinese, and I have, and it doesn't move them at all. I could yell at Hamas or Hezbollah or Al-Qaeda, and they don't care. It doesn't move them at all. And it's not the actions of our government. What I am exercised about, what I'm really mad about, is the actions of our government that we can control. So we're not funding any of the other terrorists or bad nations in the world, but we are funding Israel as they committed genocide. In fact, Joe Biden and Donald Trump gave them a thank you note along with $30 billion extra they gave them in the middle of a genocide. So that was saying, hey, genocide, well done. Here's Jenks money. Here's an average American's money. Here's a family busting their ass, can't pay the rent or the mortgage in Missouri. You're going to take their money, and you could use it for a genocide. You could use it for wars. You could use it for an endless occupation of the Palestinians and brutalizing all your neighbors. Well, if you're not upset about that, honestly, I think you're really immoral. That is an immoral position, not to be enraged that they're using our government and our money. We have to work harder. We have to go and get a second job, pay more taxes so that Israel can commit more genocides. China's not doing it with our money. In fact, we have to borrow money from China to pay Israel for their genocide and their wars. And then my children and grandchildren have to pay the interest on the money we borrowed from China to give to Israel to commit genocide. That is insanity. In terms of the tropes, what's happening, Piers, is that Israel is hiding behind the tropes. So nobody's saying that Jews control this, that, or the other thing. We're saying there's a lobby in America. By the way, there's a lot of lobbies who control our politicians. So when I say on the Young Turks, as I've said definitely thousands of times, maybe getting into the millions, big pharma, big oil, defense contractors, big banks, etc., all completely control our politicians, and I can prove it. And in fact, that's what I was yelling on the last time. I can prove it. So big pharma says that we're not allowed to negotiate drug prices. That's insane. We live in a so-called free market and capitalism, and we're not allowed to negotiate prices. Why? Because our politicians are deeply corrupt. They're 100% corrupt. So they say, Americans, we don't care if it even kills you. You will pay whatever the drug companies demand because they don't work for us, the politicians. They work for the drug companies. The oil companies are the most profitable companies in the world, but we give them $35 billion in subsidies every year. By the way, that's nearly 10 times what Israel gets. So I am very exercised about that, and I'm furious about that. And I'm not furious at the oil companies in Israel as much as I am furious at our politicians and our media. So when I question Big Pharma and how much money they give to the politicians, I get no pushback. Oil companies, no pushback. But when you get to the Israeli lobby, they want special rules. And they hide behind the tropes. Are you saying that money controls politicians? Yes, I'm definitely saying that. Are you saying Jewish money controls? No, I didn't say Jewish. You said Jewish. No one ever said Jewish. By the way, if the Bolivian lobby was as strong as the Israeli lobby, and they had given billions of dollars to our politicians, then I would be livid with the Bolivian lobby. But it's not the Bolivian lobby. It's not the Malaysian lobby. It is obviously the Israeli lobby. And Piers, can you not see that they are asking for special rules, that you're allowed to criticize every lobby except Israel's?
Well, you know, what I would say about it is,
them-
look, as you know, I for a long time after the start of the war in Gaza, I supported Israel's right to defend itself. I then became increasingly concerned and critical the longer it went on, and the more disproportionate I felt Israel's response had become. Interestingly, I've said that Ben Shapiro, the moment I began to get more critical, refused to come on the show anymore or have anything to do with me. And the same's happened with Douglas Murray. He hasn't appeared on Uncensored since I became more critical of Israel. And I've got a problem with that, with both of them. I like them both. I've always enjoyed interviewing them and debating with them. But I don't see how you can be, as they both are, big supporters and defenders of free speech and sort of self-appointed crusaders of free speech. But
yeah, that's because they're not. They're only for free speech that they like, that makes them feel good and line up their pockets, like for Israel. But if it's speech that they don't like, then they want it to be cut off, and they just so sick, these people.
Shut down debate with people who are becoming more critical of something that you have been supportive of. So to your credit, you always come on. And also to your credit, today we've managed to speak for 20 odd minutes and you haven't shouted at me once. So I think we are moving to a good place here, Cheng. Your spleen has had a better afternoon. Yeah. But my point being that you will debate anyone. That is to your credit. I think I don't know why Douglas won't come back on. I think it's probably for the same reason that Ben Shapiro doesn't. And it's just they don't like people who are vocally critical of what Israel's been doing in the last 3 years. And I don't know anyone who's fair-minded about it or clear-minded about it who can't find things to criticize the Israeli government for. Whilst at the same time, in my case, supporting Israel's right not just to exist, but to defend itself. I know a lot of Israelis, like them very much as a people.
Zionist.
I know a lot of Jewish people. And I have to say, all the Israelis and Jews that I know have been saying to me how fair-minded they think this show is, how I get everybody on, they appreciate that. And they themselves are very critical of what their government's been doing, in the main, of all the people I've met. So I don't know why people who profess to be champions of free speech are not able to take legitimate criticism of a government, whichever government that is. So on that point, you and I are totally in agreement. Look, I've got to leave it there. I know you'll be back soon.
Oh, can I just say one last quick thing?
You can.
Yeah, one last quick thing. I just want people to know, look, there's difference between these three different groups: Jews, Zionists, and Israel First. Jews are just Americans that live here. I grew up with a kid whose parents were physics professors. Mossad never called them. They never got dialed into any plans of Israel or anything like that. So please do not believe these ludicrous conspiracy theories about all Jews are this way or that way. They're regular human beings who have a variety of opinions, obviously. And a lot of Zionists, yes, they catch flack for some good reason, but a lot of them just want Israel to be safe. They don't want the genocide. They don't want the wars, etc. But Israel First is the group that prioritizes Israel above all. They're the ones who do the propaganda. They're the ones who try.
No, Jank. No, bro. Zionists, no. There is no difference between Israel First and Zionists. They are one and the same, period. Yeah, there's Jews and Zionists, but there's no Jews, Zionists, and Israel First. No. It's Jews and, like, Zionists are Israel First, and Israel First is Zionism. Like, you're still, bro, contradicting yourself. That's not good, man.
To eliminate anyone who's opposed to Israel. So my beef is not with the first two groups. My beef is with Israel First. And we are not going to let them say it's anti-Semitic to not give.
So you're a Zionist? Good to know, bro.
Israel another $300 billion or to start another war with them. We are going to fight for America, and we have every right to. So, you've seen me ask this question a couple of times. So we have every right to ask, why is it American troops that are being sent into Iran and not Israeli troops?
Do you know what? I think people should
Israel?
be entitled to. When bombs are flying around, people should ask questions. It's the first prerequisite of anyone in the media to be loudly asking difficult questions. Of course, holding all governments to account. Cheng, I've got to leave it there. It's been a civilized conversation. I'm glad we've had it. It's an important conversation. I think people who sometimes think all they see is clips of you shouting probably don't realize there's a non-shouty Cheng. I do. Yeah. And I've enjoyed this conversation. So thank you.
Thank you, Piers.
Really, bro? Come on. Yeah, I like that, except the ending. Bro, Jank, you were such an idiot. Oh, yeah, God. Fuck you. You keep contradicting yourself, man. You drive me crazy. Let's see this one.
What we're waiting for, and hasn't occurred yet, is a fatwa from the Grand Ayatollah, which will be very public, to attack American targets.
He's got Al
According to my
Jazeera
security
behind
sources,
him.
there's at least 18,000 special interest aliens in the United States.
It's not a war.
that is explicitly to, I believe, defend America, or is in the explicit interest of the United States?
Look, I'm not a fan of the guy. It's not pleasant to hear that the president speak in that manner. My entire generation, basically after 9/11, spent our adult lives in war. No negotiations with the Iranians will be successful until the Israelis are restrained. I want justice for Charlie Kirk, as I think every American does.
And in relation to possible foreign involvement, have you got any clarity about where that may have come from? The mission accomplished speech by President Bush, delivered 18 years before US troops left Iraq for good, is the ultimate emblem of why most Americans oppose Middle Eastern wars. If the history lesson bothers President Trump, whose opposition to such wars helped to elect him twice, well, he's not showing him.
No.
We've won this. This war has been won.
Fuck you.
The only one that likes to keep it
fuck
going is
yourself.
the fake news. I mean, the New York Times, you read the New York Times, it's like we're not winning a war where they have no Navy and they have no Air Force and they have no nothing. And we literally have planes flying over Tehran and other parts of their country. They can't do a thing about it. For instance, if I want to take down that power plant, that very big, powerful power plant, they can't do a thing about it. Really?
It's like, take me.
Can't do a thing.
That's all they can do.
Really?
Well, everything that Donald Trump says about military targets may be true, but it begs the question, is it really possible to have a military victory and a strategic defeat at the same time? If the Straits of Hormuz remain open, as they were before the war, is that a victory? If Iran is bound to a nuclear deal but keeps its uranium, as was the case under Obama, is that a victory? If the Iranian regime remains weakened but unchanged, is that a victory? General Stanley McChrystal, who led US forces in Iraq and Afghanistan, said this week, if you like this war, enjoy this first part because everything after will be harder. Thousands of US paratroopers are heading to the Middle East, joining Marines already assembled there for a possible ground operation. Well, joining me to discuss that are two US Army veterans with very opposing views on the Iran war. Rob Smith, Iraq War US Army veteran and host of Can't Cancel Rob Smith, and Matt Tardio, he's the US Army Special Forces veteran and host of Speak the Truth podcast. Well, welcome to both of you. Rob Smith, where are we with this war, do you think?
You know, where are we right now? It's very confusing, I got to tell you, because I don't believe that we're really getting a lot of good reporting.
Is a Gold Star husband, a retired Green Beret, and a veteran of 11 combat tours across 20 years service in the US Army. President Trump appointed him to the role of director of the National Counterterrorism Center, a position from which he resigned last week. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, he said in his statement. It's clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. And I'm pleased to say that Joe Kent joins me now. Joe Kent, I'm just wondering, a week ago, your life was very, very different to what it is today. You've been through what I would call the mincer since you went public. You're a man used to very difficult situations.
Okay.
How are you feeling about how this week has gone for you?
Not really that good, probably.
I feel really good. Thank you for having me on. First off, I appreciate the opportunity. But look, I didn't reach my conclusion lightly. But by the time I made the decision, seeing how we got into this war and seeing the path that we're going down now, I knew that I was doing the right thing. And I still feel the same way today. So my main goal is to hopefully change the dialogue on how we're looking at things in Iran and hopefully give the president some opportunity to get us out of this conflict.
This sort of central charge that there was no imminent threat. Now, we've heard people like Lindsey Graham and others saying they were 2 weeks away from doing something, which seems ridiculous. You were in the perfect position to know what the actual real threat was. How would you assess it?
The only imminent threat was of Israel attacking Iran and then Iran retaliating against our bases in the region because the Iranians knew that the Israelis couldn't accomplish this military objective they have of regime change without our support. So we knew that was going to happen. That was the only imminent threat. President Trump came into office in 2025. The Iranians closely observed a escalation ladder. By that, I mean, prior to President Trump coming back into office, the Iranian proxies in the region had attacked our troops hundreds of times throughout the region after October 7th. Once Trump came back in, the Iranians deliberately stopped their proxies from attacking our troops, knowing that President Trump wanted to get to the negotiating table. He did just that with Steve Witkoff and others. When the 12-day war was launched, the Iranians didn't attack us. They made sure their proxies didn't attack our forces in the region. They didn't actually take a strike against us until we hit the nuclear facilities. And then they launched an equal amount of missiles that we dropped on bombs, and they dropped on their nuclear facilities. And then they eagerly got back to the negotiating table with us. So there actually was no threat emanating directly from Iran. They had the capability to pose a threat to us, but so do many nations. But we did not have any intelligence to indicate that they were on the cusp of attacking us. The only real threat was from Israel forcing our hand.
And notwithstanding the fact that Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, publicly stated that actually America launched a preemptive attack because Israel, he didn't name the country, but obviously he was talking about, had indicated they were going to attack Iran, and therefore there would be a response and America would have to get involved. They then tried to rein that back. But he was on the record as basically saying, we did this because of Israel's decision to attack. You, with your criticism, have now been accused by Mitch McConnell of being anti-Semitic. You've had Matt Brooks, the president of the Republican Jewish Coalition, saying that your appearance on Tucker Carlson's podcast was part of an ongoing problem. So inferring the same. How do you respond to that charge that you're anti-Semitic?
Everyone's an anti-Semite.
In my criticism of really our policy, the American policy towards Israel, I've never mentioned the religion of the people of the state of Israel. My issue is the fact that we have a foreign government that is dictating our policy in the Middle East, and in particular dictating when and how we go to war. That's my main issue. Look, these guys are going to throw out the anti-Semitic claim because they want people debating that, and they also want people to cower because no one wants to be called anti-Semitic. They're doing that because they don't want to discuss the fundamental issue, which is exactly what Secretary Rubio said, that we were forced into this war because we knew that the Israelis were going to attack, which would set off a series of reactions from the Iranians. So that's why we went ahead and conducted the attack, because our hand was forced by the Israelis. That's what Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, and all the neoconservatives don't want to address. And that's the main issue here that we should be discussing.
Of course, at the same time, it's been pretty obvious to people, I think, that from what Antony Blinken said, that Israel had tried this before. They tried to tell President Obama and President Biden, we're going to attack. Are you with us? We're going to attack Iran. Both times the answer came back no. And on both occasions, Israel didn't attack. I thought that was very significant.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the Israelis told the Trump administration this in an effort to get them to be stronger than the Biden administration and than the Obama administration. What I pointed out in my resignation letter is that there was an echo chamber that was created around President Trump by key Israeli government officials and then media talking heads, basically saying that this was the only time for us to take down the regime. They also moved the red line in a very clever way. President Trump had always said that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Well, the Iranian regime under the previous supreme leader basically agreed, and they had a fatwa that made a prohibition on Iran developing a nuclear weapon. So the Israelis came in with the goal of moving that red line because basically the Iranians said they wanted to continue to have the ability to enrich. And that kind of got us into this conundrum. But then in January, when the Iranians were feeling the weight of the economic sanctions that President Trump had put on them, they took to the streets. Again, the Israeli lobby came back. The key Israeli officials came back and said, now is the prime time to strike. If you strike, there's a clear path to victory. The regime will simply just fall. And so basically through those series of events, we were led to believe that there was a clear path to victory. But in order for the Israelis to get what they wanted, they went ahead and they said that we, the Israelis, were going to attack, again, forcing our hand and dragging us into this war.
What are your feelings about President Trump? He said since you resigned, he's not a fan. He thinks you're weak on security, which does beg the question, well, why did he make you what he made you in the first place? What do you feel about his response since you resigned?
I understood that when I left, especially in the manner that I chose to leave very publicly, that he was going to have to say something. Look, I don't take any of this personally. What I want President Trump to do is to realize that the initial policy that he had towards Iran, especially in his first administration, when he utilized a series of key strikes against Iranian terrorists like Qasem Soleimani and Abu Mahdi Mohandas, but then he leveraged the economic weight of America with max pressure sanctions. He had Iran contained. He knew that the Iranians knew that he meant business because of what he did to Qasem Soleimani, who basically walked all over Obama, walked all over George Bush. President Trump had them basically exactly where we needed them, where they were ready to get to the negotiating table. And President Trump was on the cusp of having a historic peace that I believe is still obtainable. But first and foremost, what President Trump has to do is reset and rethink our relationship with Israel. We cannot have Israel in the driver's seat of our foreign policy as it's been in the Middle East for my entire lifetime.
You say it's not personal, but he's got quite personal with you. And for context, some viewers may not be aware of this, but your first wife, Shannon, was a US Navy technician who was killed in Syria in 2019 in a suicide bombing, leaving behind your 2 children. You married your current wife, Heather, in August 2023, more than 4 years later. Donald Trump said this week about this.
Look, I'm not a fan of the guy. He was a man that I met at Dover. He came and his wife was killed. He remarried fairly quickly. His wife was killed.
I mean, that was a nasty dig. You married very quickly. You know, whatever he was trying to infer, it wasn't pleasant. That is personal, isn't it? Did that offend you? That hurt you?
Of course, it's personal. It's not pleasant to hear the president speak in that manner. But look, again, the stakes are really high, Pierce. I mean, my late wife was killed in one of these Middle Eastern wars that we shouldn't have been in the first place. Hundreds of my friends were killed in these wars as well. My entire generation, basically after 9/11, spent our adult lives in war. I did multiple combat deployments. The stakes couldn't be higher. And so really, I frankly don't care what the president says about me personally. Again, I understand because I went out the way that I did, that this is inevitable. What I want all the focus to be on is how we got here and how we get out of the situation that we're in, and how we must restrain the Israelis and how we must use diplomacy with the Iranians to get out of the situation before it spirals further out of control. I think we're at a huge inflection point with the potential of putting boots on the ground, deploying forces into Krog Island, or just having more violence and more of the energy flow coming out of the Straits of Hormuz being disrupted.
It seems to me, I've known Trump a long time. It seems to me he's looking for an off-ramp. This has got way more complicated than he thought it might be. What does an off-ramp look like for Donald Trump right now, where he could claim some kind of legitimate victory without losing too much face? Because ultimately, as we know with him, that will likely be his biggest calculation.
First and foremost, he has to restrain the Israelis. As we've seen over the course of the last 2 weeks, every single time that President Trump says he wants some form of a de-escalation with the Iranians, the Israelis go and take major strikes against Iranian energy or other key Iranian targets, basically to disrupt the potential for any kind of de-escalation. No negotiations with the Iranians will be successful until the Israelis are restrained. And you have to do that by saying to the Israelis, we will help you defend yourself, but we will not give you the capability to go on the offense. If you guys go on the offense, you're going it on your own. And the Israelis have never been told that before. And we have to be very, very serious about that. Step 2 is going to the Iranians in a very serious way, talk about lifting sanctions that will give them some economic relief, but will also get the Straits of the Hormuz opened back up again for commerce to get the flow of energy going once more. The negotiations are going to be very challenging. I think President Trump has the skills and the force of will to make this happen. But unless we restrain the Israelis, all of our efforts will be for naught.
Just to segue to something a bit different, but during an interview with Michael Schellenberger, you said that you're skeptical that Tyler Robinson, who confessed to killing Charlie Kirk, was the lone shooter. You also said the FBI did not properly investigate his killing. And so the FBI was pretty forceful in saying we couldn't investigate further. I saw no action being taken. And you alluded to potential foreign involvement. Now, this is, as you know, sparked a lot of kickback from Charlie Kirk fans and former colleagues. First, did you stand by what you said? And would you like to elaborate on it?
I do. Look, I want justice for Charlie Kirk, as I think every American does. The National Counterterrorism Center's purview was investigating all foreign ties. I think based on what we've seen in the public, there was folks who had pre-knowledge of Charlie Kirk's assassination. From my vantage point at NCTC, I don't believe that a complete investigation was done, and so I think that's important. as far as the case against Tyler Robinson goes, I can't speak to him. It sounds to me like they have enough evidence to convict him that will play out in the court of law. But from my vantage point, what we were responsible for, I believe there was more work to be done.
And is your gut feeling that he did not act alone?
The potential of him having assistance, again, with the people saying they had pre-knowledge, with the people jumping up in the crowd and claiming that they were the one who took the shot, it does appear that there could be additional people that had pre-knowledge of it. I think that's about all that I can say on that. And again, from my vantage point in NCTC during the investigation, I don't believe that we were able to run down every single lead possible.
And in relation to possible foreign involvement, have you got any clarity about where that may have come from?
All I can say is that there was more work for us to be done in terms of the investigation itself, and so I just have to leave that there.
Finally, Joe, a lot of people have been more aware of you in the last week. They've been watching you talking in the media. They've seen you be very, as many see it, very courageous in standing up for what you believe in. And they're aware, of course, of your glittering record. So,
okay, guys, we're done here. But I just got to say for the record, fuck Jill Stein. All right? Thank you guys for joining us tonight. See you guys, not tomorrow night, but we'll see you guys Monday night. Zein and maybe someone else will join us. But until then, take care. Free Palestine.